Yo, Joe June, a Joe kind of June, a toy kind of mood, episode 175. We made it this long without killing each other.
We're almost at 200. Holy shit.
Almost there. When would 200 be? End of the year?
25 weeks. If we keep up at this rate, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
5 months. Right? Okay.
Yeah. Make me do math. How dare you? How dare you?
Look, Travis Moody here. Man, all kind of good stuff happening with Joe Fest coming up. It's Yojo June. We're wrapping that up. We got a hot topic tonight. Is Marvel Legends having a better year than G.I. Joe Classified? Oh, yeah, a lot of comments. Oh, no, Joe all the way. We'll talk about that. So that'll be fun. First, though, co-host time, Bobby B, our Bobby B, Bobby Bear. What up?
What is up, dude? Yeah, finally, I was like, I got on the streamer and I'm like, why is it Bobby Bex? Oh, yeah, because we had the other Bobby B. Okay, that makes sense.
That was a good time with the two Bobbies.
That was a good time. That was fun.
It was a little tricky. I loved it. But Spec's back. What's up?
Cheers.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, talking a little. I know DJ 5 Ash is going to ask a little Elijah Craig toasted barrel.
Ooh.
I'm doing great. It's glad to be back. You know, it was nice having a little break. It's great not having the pressure of having to be on every week just because of family obligations and whatever else. But I missed it. I missed you guys.
Oh, yeah. And did we miss them? Yeah, we missed you. Yeah, we missed you. You had to think about it for 1 second, but we missed you.
I get it.
I get it.
Cool. And man, always a pleasure when we can get Black Genghis on. KJ, how we doing?
Doing good. It's good seeing y'all. And I echo Spec's sentiments as well. You know, it's always good to hang out with y'all. And it's sort of like, man, did I forget to do something for the last 8 weeks? Oh, yeah. Be on. So I got to move with my friends. So whenever I can make some time, it's good to see you fine folks. And if I may, let's go ahead and holler at the fine folks in the chat, shall we?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
All right. Shout out to Toyomic Displays. Homeboy is trying to get to 100 subs. So if you're watching really quick, holler at dude on YouTube and subscribe. Let's get him to 100 subscriptions. Nice seeing you, dude. Shout out to Liquid Identity. Yeah. Cobra. La, 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 la. Anyway, sorry about that. I had to. Shout out to Jason the X. What's going on, man?
Oh, what's up? What's up? We'll see him at Comic-Con. That's what's up.
Yep. Frank DeMunio, also repping Cobra Law. Shout out to Tony Spigs. Yeet. The Yeet case. What's up, GI Bro? Good seeing you, dude. Team kind of mood. Yes, indeedy do. Shout out to the homie Chad Kinsler.
Chad.
Shout out to DJ 5 Ash. And yes, you got Specs whiskey recommendation. John Kane, thanks for joining us, man. And let's see who else. We got Johnny B54, my favorite short circuit droid. And of course, the man of the hour who will be joining us later, Adam, aka Shark Eyes Toy View. Dude,
there we go.
Great work. Keep it up. We'll get into all of that.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Also, I forgot. Judge Dreads, thanks for joining us. Sabir Del Norte, thanks for joining us as well. All right. Now I'm good. Now let's kick up to Mr. Behar with some exciting news. He.
Yes. So there we go. Slicklicious. We are doing another giveaway at the end. Yeah, we'll do it halfway through the show. Halfway?
Yeah. I like that.
Halfway through the show. Let's see here. What is a good banner? Let's do create a banner. Let's do hashtag Yo Joe Marvel.
Shout out to GIJive.store, Slickalicious. Here. Got a new shirt.
Nice.
Olive green G.I. Joe bat. Am I doing this right? Yeah, here we go. But it has the Cobra symbol, so maybe they just painted it themselves. But yeah, awesome shirt. Thanks so much. Craig, I don't know if he's watching tonight, but really appreciate you. And yeah, good news, Bobby. So
Spec, back at you. Listen, so now here's the thing. Put in this hashtag Yo Joe Marvel. Halfway through the show, we will run it like we did last time. You have to be present to win. I'm not gonna, do do like 15 million different like tries until
Be
someone
here. Don't leave.
in the comment
Don't
section.
get a shirt. Yeah.
And then once we get that done, we'll get your information, ship it on out to you.
Cool. Yeah. And Frank C, not sure if he's here, Frank C Viper, he got it. He's got the evidence. He had a knife next to the shirt to show everyone
Nice.
what he did to the postal guy if he was gonna jack him for a shirt. But yeah, nice shirt. All right, let's get to
really quick. Do you want me to start? Do you want me to keep track of everyone that said that the hashtag so far, or
nope? So if let me show it real quick. So share screen, give away.
I love that you guys are doing this. Thank you.
Boom.
Nice.
Remember, you'd have to be the Yojo Marvel. Frank, if you want the shirt, you can't add anything to the end of it. It won't read you. So Yojo Marvel. We will keep. I'm going to keep this going. So that at the halfway point, thank you, War Chest. You're amazing. Halfway point, I'll run it. Got to be present to win. And on with the show.
All right, on with the show. ATKM 175 special episode. It's a Marvel versus G.I. Joe episode. We're going to run through the fan stream real quick, break down Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe Classified of 2024 this year, the first 6 months, how they doing. We'll talk about Yojo June updates with Shark Eyes Toy View, and then he's going to rank his classified reviews and talk about from worst to best how he feels about the figures we ain't got yet that didn't make that list that we had. And then we'll talk a little Joe Fest at the end and segue you guys home. So it should be a super dope show. Let's get right to it. Fan stream, Marvel Legends right away. You know what? We'll ask you guys your overall opinion of the show at the end when we do whiskeys. Let's just get right into what we have. And it was, a reminder that this pre-order went up. Werewolf by Night Man Thing. I'll start off with you, Bobby.
It's awesome. I have the head from the Build-A-Figure wave around somewhere. It's awesome. I'm skipping it because I don't do the supernatural wave of Marvel, but yeah, great job with it. Because if you remember, real quick, this Man Thing was the Build-A-Figure wave for the MCU Netflix wave, which is very hard to find now. I luckily have found Daredevil when it came out. That's the only one I have of that. Oh, here we go. It's actually one of my favorite figures of all time from Marvel. It's
nice.
Daredevil.
Still a good one. Cool.
Yeah.
And then there's a look at him from Werewolf by Night when they did In Color. Remember, they re-released it.
That was such a good presentation. I want more of that.
I think we all do. KJ, I'm going to ask you, how are we feeling about possibilities with Werewolf by Night? Would you like to see more? Jack Russell, Elsa?
It's interesting that they did the special. Not everything has to be a series. Like we got these movies where, back in the day, you were lucky just to get one movie. So I feel like doing the specials, doing these telefilms, it works. You can still generate merch from it, the figs, shirts, that kind of stuff. Like if we can't get a next wave series, I'd love to get a next wave presentation. Just some zany, silly thing, just like in the comics. So yeah, I think it's smart. It's a way where you don't have to sink a bunch of costs production-wise and this stuff. And the fans still get to, stunt on this stuff. So it's pretty cool.
That's what's up. Spec, you have any overall thoughts on maybe Man Thing or just anything you'd like to see from maybe Werewolf by Night? Like I see Elsa Bloodstone there on the screen.
I think that it opens itself up to a couple new characters or new toolings on characters. I don't know who's been released and who hasn't. I think that it is one of Marvel's more successful non-theatrical outings. It's just a really solid short film. And it was cool to see Man Thing show up in that. And it's neat that they're doing this figure and seeing how much new tooling or retooling they did of the BAF to make it more movie accurate. I will be very surprised if they don't get their money's worth out of this mold and do a black and white version, which would be very off the beaten path, but very cool, I think.
Yeah. McFarlane would have already been all over that.
Yep.
Yeah, that would have been the platinum.
I like that idea a lot. That's a good idea. All right, let's move on to the next thing. That was the kickoff. And then they talked about this is the only MCU portion of the fan stream. Dan was like, if there's anything major MCU, we're going to announce it at Comic-Con. So I guess
Ryan said that.
Dan. It was actually Dan who said that on social media. Sorry, Dan. I should have said on X. Sorry. During the fan stream, he reiterated what he was saying. My bad. But they both said it. We're both right. Yeah. So there you go. Venom gets an update. Bobby, how you feeling about the update? I love this movie Venom that we already have, but man, it's going to be hard to not get,
Yeah, I'm with you. I love the update. I love the different Venom heads. But I've already got the Venom from the first movie. And this is just for me, it's like it's a pass. It's not an easy pass, but it's a pass.
Yeah. KJ, we got some updated white veins on that upper torso, and man, those tentacles, right?
You know what? The only thing we're missing is the half Venom, half Tom Hardy face. Like, we needed that. And I also need like a button that I can press so it plays the Eminem theme song.
Yes, I like that song.
Yeah, I do too. I clown the Venom soundtrack because it's like, did I just wake up in 2002 or what? Like,
yes.
Where's the Slipknot song on the? No, anyway, yeah, I gotta get this fact. Yeah, but it's a fun figure. It's crazy looking. It's good to see Marvel get close to the zaniness that McFarlane does all the time. Mm-hmm. Like they got let your inner McFarlane loose. So yeah, I got my eyes on this. Let's put it this way. Like I said, I grabbed way too many a fig for full price before these outlets and Power Pulse sales and all that stuff. So I'm like, well, we'll see. I'm not always a dude to ask. I'm pinching many a penny right now, but that looks pretty dope too, right there. No lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Spec looks like a Carnage guy for some reason. Are you a Carnage guy?
I like them both, but I picked up when, back in the 90s when Venom went out on his own as the big anti-hero, and I had that whole run of the miniseries. I never read a ton of Carnage, and I don't know what it is. There's something about, I like the Target Carnage that's coming out. Something about this strikes me wrong, and I don't care for it. The Venom's cool, but I don't like the Carnage.
Yeah, and I think we have that Carnage in another slide later on when we talk about the war. So we'll get into that. Let's move on to Odin, Bobby. This is a big time. This is big, right?
That's big. I want to say pass, but seeing that, on the fan show, I was like, shoo, I don't know. I've got Loki, I've got Thor. Just need the shitty father figure. That's tough. But oh man, yeah, it's going back and fixing the figures. Like the Anthony Hopkins MCU Odin wasn't bad, but this one is like, oof. All right, we're gonna do it beefy. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I like that comment. Odin and Nemesis about to throw down. Yeah, they're probably
two big boys.
Probably roughly the same size. Lots of goodies here, right? So 8 inches tall. They talked about it. All new body. Similar, he's got a Thanos-like size. Fabric cape. You don't get a whole lot of fabric usually with Marvel Legends, so that's big. He's got the PVC skirt, the Gungnir spear, and the giant sword, and of course the 2 ravens, interchangeable headpieces, the war and ceremonial helmets, removable hair, which is really cool. And there's a look at the size compared to the Dark Thor. And then I just overall, KJ, I think this armor deco detail is just tremendous.
I mean, they're getting better at this stuff. They're just improvements year after year. I keep saying that by the time that Hasbro finally catches up to import level, they're going to have a question about like what are we going to see bump up, because doing stuff like this costs. It costs money to get the paint apps, like the detail, the intricacies. Like it's going to cost. So if Hasbro can get on Mofex level, Amazing Yamaguchi level, Bandai, Tamashii Nations. You know, like I'm here for it. I'm here for better figures. So let's see what happens. And if they can still keep it in that price point, then it'll be the best value on the market. It'll be the best value on shelves.
Yeah,
for sure. You had a quick comment, Spec, before we get to the next one.
I think that this figure's the standout of the wave to me. He's freaking massive. He's detailed. I love the fact that you can.
I have to ask you a question and interrupt you. Do you mean of the entire 85th anniversary? Because this is not
of
that's
the stream of the stream.
Of the stream. Okay, you said the wave. So there you go. Of the stream.
Yes, of the stream.
That's a great choice.
I love the difference in helmets. Like, oh, he's going to go into battle. He's got his battle helmet. He's going to sit on the crown or the throne. He's got his crown to wear. They nailed it. Like, just massive, big and girthy, like Tony likes him.
I had to get a shot on Romo. Let's just tell the folks that there's a pre-order. The reason that these pictures are kind of blurry is we haven't gotten official ones yet on most of the stuff. There were no immediate pre-orders, as far as I know. The next pre-orders are what, tomorrow? Is tomorrow the am I doing that right? The 20th tomorrow.
20th,
So yeah, we'll have the Strange Tales, which we'll talk about in a minute. That goes up for pre-order tomorrow, but we have this the following week. So but there's that look. We'll take a look at this again when we compare in our little duel between Joe and Marvel, but just a quick look at the stuff. Man, it you know, they're not messing around. That's the entire 85 years minus Odin. So it's a good theme. It's hard to knock what they're doing with that, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get to the next one. Bobby, X-Men, got to talk to you about Pro X Warlord.
Yeah, I do want this Xavier. His unmasked face looks creepy as shit. It really does. It's like, yes, let me into your mind. But it's perfect for the X-Men 275 wave, and I mean, it does look great. Although, they did say Ryan did say something on the fan stream, which makes me think that they are going to do a repaint of this. When he said, "Oh, you know, in the animated series, it's purple with like the leg braces." I'm like, all right, they're gonna re-release this like that one exactly. And on top of all of that, it's Walmart. Like,
yep, good call.
Shit, we're not gonna ever see this.
But you know what? I think what was it? The Hydra Cap or Ultimate Cap? Hydra Cap was up for a while, and that was considered a really good figure, got good reviews. So maybe their distribution's a little better. I also, not related, but didn't have an issue pre-ordering the Harlem Heat from WWE, which is usually an issue pre-ordering anything. So Walmart is still Walmart, don't get me wrong, but they're like 5% better.
Yeah.
So we're inching our way to mediocrity with Walmart, I think. But let me ask you guys as a whole, would you rather have seen this Warlord right there in the comic, or would you rather go with the cover? Because this is kind of what it's based on. And I know we got art right there. There we go. There's the look shooting the galaxy. But now you got the wrong color Warlord because this is the cover. So do you think they went with the right one or no? I mean, I'll let either KJ or Spec jump in on that.
I'll go ahead and jump in because once again, McFarlane, he would have done platinum editions. He would have done variants. It would have been here's the cover colors. Here's the animated series colors. Here's the cell shaded. Here's the black and white. Here's the patina with weird colors that nobody asked for. Like, so I think depending on how this Xavier performs in Walmart, like do that as a Walmart exclusive. Do the purple switch up as an Amazon exclusive. You know?
Okay. Yeah. I
like,
get that.
They got to get smarter about this stuff. It's like, what are you running out of plastic? It's like, you know, I don't work at Hasbro yet. They're not going to listen to me. But if there's enough people that's like, yeah, we want that cover version, they'll get it. They'll make it. It's just going to, but it'll take a year or longer.
Yep.
Yeah. I think cool. Because they hinted at it, they're coming, especially because this one is an exclusive. The other one will either be a general release or a different exclusive, kind of like you just said, KJ. But I think they know, and I think that they know that they're going to milk the mold. So they weren't shy about sitting there talking about what there were two other versions, right? There was the gold armor, and then there was the purple version but they
Yep.
mentioned both. So I'm sure whatever deal they have in play with Walmart in terms of contractual whatever, they'll either change it enough because of the colors or the contracts short term, and you guys will get it. It'll come eventually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep, and I think you nailed it because it's like if just based on the comments we're seeing is most people want the cover, which makes sense. That cover art, even though this one was inside the comic, then they'll sell the one that's inside the comic first instead of the one that's more in demand. So it makes business sense. Look, we have one more regular figure to talk about, and she's a beaut before we get into the build a figure wave, and here it is. Bobby, take it away. Oh wait, never mind. We had another 2-pack. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So this is the first appearance of Rogue. I think it's Uncanny 184. I think something like that. And then she comes with her mom, Destiny. When they said this was a 2-pack, I'm like, okay, she's either come with Mystique or Destiny. We're gonna get someone we haven't gotten before. And I hate 2-packs. I might get this. No, I don't need that Destiny. I don't need it. I don't have Mystique. Do I? No, and yeah. So if it goes on clearance, sure, but I do like the way that Rogue looks. It looks straight out of, that Uncanny cover where she's, welcome to the X-Men Rogue. Hope you survive the experience.
There you go, Avengers Annual 10, Jason says.
Yeah, her first appearance. Yeah, thanks, Jason. Destiny is a huge part of the X-Men lore. Huge part of what's been going on with the X-Men. Yeah.
I was least interested in this just because even though that's first appearance Rogue, it's not my Rogue. It's not the Rogue I care about. And then they kept talking about, we could give you the hood later. The hoodie doesn't even go to the head, or they were kind of talking about the long torso. There's not going to be any articulation because it was like they were kind of telling you the negatives of this thing. But for people who definitely want Destiny and to fulfill that whole evil brotherhood of mutants, they got you, right? This is what Hasbro's got you, right? Because you need that.
And this was kind of odd the way that the Rogue moves at the base. So it kind of it was very interesting. But yeah, the only Brotherhood that I have is Avalanche. That's because Spec found him for $6 at Ross for me. That's it. So.
Gotcha. All right, let's get to the next thing because this
I got a quick question.
All right, go ahead,
Bobby. You hate 2-packs?
Shockingly, I know. I don't think I've ever mentioned that on the show before. But yeah,
shocker, dude. I
know.
I never would have guessed.
I know.
Beside myself.
KJ, I'm going right to you. And hey, thank you so much. You brought a note, the love note, a love and Cobra note. But I'm gonna go right to KJ with this one because it's prime time. It's Phoenix.
Man, give me this. I'm here for this all damn day. No notes. It's gonna go perfect with all the other X-Men you already have. You'll be creating Phoenix Saga, Dark Phoenix Saga panels in no time. This is probably one of the smartest, best accessories ever done. The only thing missing is, I believe, a foot peg in the firebase, so you can actually just peg the foot
instead of sticking the foot in the hole that you see.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this needs a foot peg, and honestly, someone should have thought of that. But I love that the head is articulated on the Phoenix effect. I love how it will glow with interacting with light. If you have LEDs like the Ulanzi lights, that kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that Bandai, Tamashii, Nations, SH Figure Arts, they do this kind of thing all the time. So it's great to see Hasbro, especially the Marvel Legends team, just being more creative, thinking outside the box, and just really imbuing these sets with a sense of play. This is a deluxe set that's worth getting. This is worth paying the additional cost for. I'm
gonna follow up question. Spec went with Odin as the show winner, but Phoenix for you, right? KJ?
Yes, yeah, Phoenix all the way.
Yep, and Bobby, follow up with that.
Yeah, this definitely won. And also, if you were lucky enough to get that Dark Phoenix when they did the X-Men Classics from a year and a half ago, this will go right perfect with this one as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, and especially what they're doing in the comic books right now, where Phoenix is back and she's doing her own. She's getting her own comic in August, I believe. Yeah, this is just literally just perfect synergy.
Yep.
And
There's
that
a
thing is
couple comments. I'm sorry, Bobby. There's a couple
Yeah.
comments I just wanted to follow up on. Yeah, it's Warbird, body. And the price, 35, seems, I hate to say it, but seems a low.
Yeah, it seems real low. But if it is, great.
Yeah.
Woohoo! $39.99.
How much is that
seems
that Captain
right.
America that's at Target right now? The
With the wings, about the same, like 49. Like I got it on
Is it
sale.
50? I don't think it's, is it 50? Because the 2-packs are 50.
Well, Angel is 35.
Yeah.
So maybe 35. Yeah, I could see.
Yeah.
Maybe that's right. 35. Yeah.
If this was Marvel Select, it would be like 30. If this was Marvel Select, it would be 30. Even with all this. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotcha. All right, cool. I think we can all agree she's a winner. Let's get to the next section so we could wrap into our other stuff. But we got the Strange Tales wave, and yeah, it doesn't have anything to do really with the original Strange Tale comic. How does that make you feel, Bobby? That it's just kind of, you cool with them just kind of making their own themes, or does it bother you that much? Or, no,
not at all. And there's some definite cool things within the Strange Tales, like this wave. So
cool. So this is how I actually have the pictures. I don't have them based on they were revealed. I have them based on how little I care to the most I care, and then it'd be interesting to see how you guys react to that. So this next one I don't care about. Will I get it? Probably, because I need to build a figure. We'll talk about that at the end. But it's Lilith. This is the comic version. I had no idea what any of this is, and I read Marvel comics on a weekly basis. We'll stick with you, Bobby. Are you familiar with Lilith?
Yeah, and she's kind of a big player within the supernatural realm. The mother of demons, if I remember correctly. She looks cool. It is a pass for me. The only reason I got that blade was because it looked dope as hell. But I'm getting the Ghost Rider because I actually like the Ghost Rider. But yeah, this is a pass. But again, if that realm of the Marvel 616 is your bag, then you're jumping all over this.
All right, cool. Let's shift to the next lady, lovely lady here. Actually, do I have that next? No. Well, we're gonna shift to a lovely lady because it's Spec. Haha, just kidding. You make fun of Tony all the time. But it's, hey, you told me before the show you were interested in Helverine. Tell me why. Are you reading this crazy ass comic or what?
Nope, I don't know a damn thing about him. I mean, I can assume that it's the embodiment of the Ghost Rider spirit in Wolverine, or a brethren or like entity. But it's,
tell you what, talk about the toy and then we'll go back to Bobby for the lore. That's what Bobby's
damn cool. Oh, that's where I was headed. It's a damn cool figure. It's Wolverine. Can't go wrong with Wolverine. You can, but it's pretty awesome. Brown suit. I love that they have the silver adamantium skull with just the glowing flames coming out and making the shape of his mask. It's just dope. It's just a cool figure.
For sure. I don't know where Bobby went. What was going on him, but oh no, there he is. Oh, he got something in hand. Let's get to him. So there, hold on. Let me get you in the solo.
Yep. And this, and I also have the Scotty Young cover, which is really, really freaking cool. Yeah, look, Helverin's great. It's not Ghost, the Spirit of Vengeance. He is actually attached to the hood. This is a different demon, and he was attached to Wolverine for a bit in this Wolverine run, but in Helverine, he is actually attached to Dakin, Wolverine's son, because Dakin was ripped to shreds by Sabretooth. And so now Dakin's alive, and yeah, it is very interesting. I'm getting this figure. This figure is just dope. And Jason's right. It has been very heavy on Wolverine.
Well, it's a 60th anniversary, so they're gonna
Yeah.
capitalize on that whenever they can. It's Wolverine. You know what I mean? You're always
50th.
gonna get Batman. You're always gonna get Snake Eyes. It just is what it is.
But no, the demon is going after like the evil. What it was a demon of evil, but when it got bonded to Wolverine, to Logan, it developed a conscious. So now that it's back and connected to Dakin, it's going after vengeance again. So
Gotcha. Cool. All right, KJ, take the next one. Bloodstorm.
All right, Homegirl Storm. Especially after what we saw out of the character in X-Men 97. I'm definitely going to be picking this up. I'm going to be picking up a lot of Storm as possible.
Yeah.
This is the Bloodstorm, so it's a great look, an intense arc, and yeah, I will be getting this. And even if you don't have the Mohawk Punk Storm from years ago, this is a great update with it. And if you have the Callisto that came with the Wolverine 5-pack, you can still have these two face off. So yeah.
Real quick, I actually, when they kind of hinted at this, I thought, no way they're gonna do Bloodstorm. I was just kind of shocked that they went the Mutant X route, and I kind of want them to finish that team. I doubt they will, but yeah, it was like KJ said, it's a perfect looking Storm. Then I don't know, because you showed a really cool picture there, Trav, of Bloodstorm with the Ultimate Wolverine, but not Logan. It was his son, James. There we go. It was his son, but the other two are from Mutant X, which is an alternate reality where Havoc was thrown into there, and it lasted 26 episodes and issues, and it actually wasn't that bad of a run. Yeah, I liked it was Havoc, it was Goblin Queen, it was the Fallen, Bloodstorm, Gambit, who was also a vampire, and Beast, but instead of being blue and hairy, he was a reptile and his brain was eroding.
Gotcha. All right, let's get to the next one. We got a lot to do here, so we'll get to the next one, and it's the Son of Satan, Damon Hellstrom. I'll actually take this one. It's kind of funny because HasLab, we didn't get it, and then they were like, at the time, and it was probably close to 2 years ago now, about 20 months, 19 months, they're like, well, if you don't back this, you're never, and they always say it, I get it, standard, you got to sell it. Don't blame them for anything, but they're like, yeah, if you don't back this, we're never seeing these figures again. 20 months later, we're getting a pinless Damon, so it's even better to wait. But the more important question here isn't really the figure. It's the same thing. You're getting a little more faded symbol on the torso. We're getting all pinless, and there's some poses right there. I think the most important thing, is oh man, where's my point here? Is does this affect future HasLabs? I'll ask KJ that. Do you think this affects future HasLabs for Marvel? Obviously, we have Giant Man on the way, but like, people are like, well, why should I care about this figure? I can wait, and we're going to get it anyway.
Well, HasLabs are political, and there's a lot of strategy involved, right? So like you said, they were just trying to get that engine sold. So they were willing to say whatever they could. But it was still, Hellstrom here still makes sense in this wave to entice people to getting the whole wave, getting the Build-A-Figure and everything else. I think in the future, they should leave that card out of their hand. I'm saying, like, this is the only way to get it. And it's like, okay, Hellstrom. That's all anyone's going to say after this figure is out now. So, a good thing
it's over now.
Don't use that anymore. But there are going to be HasLabs where it makes sense for that figure to be exclusive to that HasLab. Wild Bill and the Dragonfly. Wild Weasel and it could be the Rattler, or it could be, who was with the Moray, right? Well, it was
Lamprey.
Yeah. So it just depends, right? The Dreadnoks, Thrasher, and the Thunder Machine. The point is, some things have to be exclusive. This was never meant to be an exclusive with the Engine of Vengeance. It was bungle after bungle and it was this close to passing, because it would have been a great vehicle. So I just basically don't do that anymore. make dope figs so we can buy them.
Gotcha. We got 3 figures left. So I'm gonna stick with you here for Voodoo. We're going Moon Knight for Bobby and Dracula for Spec. So here we are with brother Dr. Voodoo, KJ.
All right. I like this figure. It looks really dope. This whole wave. At first I was like, yeah, I'm gonna skip this whole thing. But then they grew on me. Storm grew on me. Hellstrom looks great. Voodoo looks great here, especially you have the classic Comic Strange from a couple of years back, that Walmart exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say I'm gonna skip this, but like I said, I have way too many damn figures I bought at manufacturer's suggested retail price that are now either outlet or Power Pulse. If these all sell out, so be it, right? Like, good job for everyone who grabbed all these and built who built that figure. But as for me, I'm willing to wait on discounts wherever they may appear.
2 things they added were that they new inkjet face for Jericho drum that we have, and that the Eye of Agamotto snaps onto the cape, which I thought was a cool thing to make it Doctor and from Brother. So that was a neat. And this is higher on my list because I don't have this. So I think that's a lot of people that are longtime Marvel Legends collectors might be a little salty about some things because we're getting a lot of reused characters, a lot of re-releases, but it makes sense. It's been a while and we're getting, obviously updated articulation, everything. So I think it definitely fits the wave, as KJ was saying. All right, Bobby, Moon Knight, West Coast.
I dig it. I don't know if I'll get him. I might if I see him on hand. Kind of with a Dr. Voodoo. If I see him in hand, how they look in person. I might pass on this. I might get him. No, I don't know. I don't know yet because I didn't get that 5-pack. I wasn't a huge West Coast Avengers reader. I've got Hawkeye. I want that Mockingbird, but everyone else can,
Yep. I'll add to this real quick. I'll add to this. I was just wanting to add this Moon Knight to my West Coast because I basically I'm with you. I don't know if I need this whole pack. I have that great Hawkeye. I have a Tiger already, the previous release. Yeah. And I just throw She-Hulk in there. I mean, she was never an official member, but she kind of just makes sense with that. She's kind of, whenever she's not with like Daredevil and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with that. And this Moon Knight will be a nice touch. And then I think, the one thing, your criticism, Bobby, I got to go to you on this is, about Marvel Legends. Your criticism of Marvel Legends was that they never came with a lot of accessories, but this one comes with a lot.
Now they do. And if you look at this wave, they do come with accessories, and it's like, oh, okay, that makes me want to buy this now. Like that Dr. Voodoo comes with some really cool stuff. All right. The wand, like the Eye of Agamotto, makes me want to buy it. If it's just a figure, kick rocks. But if it's like all this, okay, I dig it. But yeah. So I might get that.
Are you currently reading Blood Hunt, Bobby?
I am.
All right, so talk about the lore, and then we'll share with Spec on. Actually, Spec, you said you were interested in the Build-A-Figure, right? We'll go to you on that. We'll stick with Bobby with Dracula.
Yeah, this Dracula is amazing. The figure looks fantastic. Look, Blood Hunt is insane right now. Blade has engulfed the Earth in darkness, and he's turned T'Challa into a vampire. He's turned Doctor Strange's body into a vampire. His astral form is keeping it under control. And now you've got Dracula and Blade's daughter looking to go kill Blade. It's an insane read, really fun. Al Ewing is doing. I think it's Al Ewing who's writing this. Really interesting, great art.
Well, it says lore on there. It doesn't say Ewing.
No, lore. That's Dracula. That's Dracula.
Yeah, you mean on Blood Hunt?
Yeah.
I got you.
Blood Hunt itself is, I think, it's Al Ewing.
Got you.
Yeah, that especially if you've read any of the Dracula X-Men stuff was really good. So, the way that they made this and what did Dwight say about a lot of pointy points on it? Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I think, it's obviously good timing with the Blood Hunt, and he's somewhat of a good guy. So that's a cool dynamic for Dracula. Now Blade as a friend, you can have him go up against Blade or whatever.
Exactly.
So that's a lot of fun. And then the other thing is that Jason, the X, was talking about the armor plating, and then you get 2 face sculpts, which is always fantastic in Marvel Legends whenever you get 2, and then the tattered cape, which you mentioned. So this is my favorite figure of the wave, but a lot of people's favorite was the Build-A-Figure, and that's Blackheart. Spec, you said you didn't know a lot about the lore, but you love the figure. You want to talk about it?
I actually like the Dracula figure better. I like the Bram Stoker vibes from the movie, the Coppola version with the Gary Oldman and the red armor. But I mean, it's a neat. I know nothing about the character. As I said in the chat, it kind of looks like Predator mated with Alien.
Nice.
Good call. Yeah, that's all I really have to say on that one. Like, it looks huge. It's probably, for those that are fans of this character, that storyline, I'm sure that they're stoked to get it.
All right, I'll let Bobby talk about the storyline, and then KJ can give me his closing thoughts on the Build-A-Figure. Go ahead, Bob.
Build-A-Figure looks great. Blackheart's the son of Mephisto, created out of pure evil. I look, if we've gotten Dracula, we've gotten Blackheart as the Build-A-Figure. That Mephisto that was shown during the
campaign
is right around the corner. It is like, you don't have all these characters and not give us Mephisto. You just don't.
Makes sense. Yeah, I'm with you there. And KJ, closing thoughts on the Build-A-Figure we got?
Yeah, it's always tricky when you have a Build-A-Figure that's usually the same size profile as what we get with everything else in the wave. There's been hits and misses throughout the years. This is probably the best, one of the best Build-A-Figures I've seen. This easily could have been a deluxe. This could have been a HasLab exclusive. So this is a Build-A-Figure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good enough to make you buy an entire wave of figures you don't give a shit about. So that's
so you just kind of answered what I was going to ask, is basically with the Build-A-Figure. And I was shout out to Unparalleled Universe. We had a good night last night in the chat. It was going back and forth. Wade's top level guy right there. But we went back and forth on this, and it was fun, man, because do you think Hasbro's like, all right, we got this killer Build-A-Figure, probably should have been a stretch goal in the HasLab. Like, we don't have to go that crazy with the wave. And I think, obviously we had a lot of high points in the wave. Most of us like the figures, but they're not like all home runs. But do you think that's the way they're going to do this? Is like, because they got a great Build-A-Figure, they don't have to have all aces in their hole?
Exactly.
They're going to do, Oh, Bobby, go ahead.
Oh no, I think KJ and I are kind of the same wavelength here. Is like, when you have something that awesome, you can go C, D level characters, because everyone's gonna want this figure. People are gonna be like, well, I can buy it, flip the figure, or maybe they fall in love with the figure. Like that Moon Knight comes with a lot of stuff. I'm like, I still don't like the packaging. I actually like the packaging on here for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's pretty nice actually. Yeah, I'll agree.
But yeah, KJ is right. Like, this is one of those Build-A-Figures where, and when I was hearing when I was driving back from the gym, and I'm like, all right, the Build-A-Figure. I'm like, I swear to Christ, if we get a Build-A-Figure that is the same size as a figure and could have been just another figure, and be really pissed. And nope.
Well, there it is. Those are good. We have one more teaser to talk about before we do whiskeys. But this is it. This goes on sale tomorrow, 10 a.m. if you're in Cali or Vegas or whatever. But yeah, West Coast, 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central Time. I don't know, man. I like the Build-A-Figure. I might just I'm suckered. I think I'm gonna get the whole wave, even though I even like the figures I had in the least interesting. You guys are kind of talking me into them a little bit, like Bloodstorm and Helverine. I was like, and then you guys kind of talk me into it. I'm like, all right, but then I get Blackheart at the end. It's kind of worth it. So yeah.
But real quick, god damn it, go back, Travis. Go back. I didn't realize this. Go back. Nope, go back. There we go. Again, the one character that doesn't have a Build-A-Figure part
is Wolverine.
because he doesn't need it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Iron Man, it's Wolverine, it's
Yeah.
Captain America. They don't come with Build-A-Figure parts. The
Because
Spider-Man,
everyone's going to buy that figure regardless.
Right.
Yeah.
I think those 4 figures, right? are like or Thor maybe. Yeah, like there's like 4 or 5, maybe even you could throw Hulk in there. 5 or 6 characters are like, we don't need pieces of a Build-A-Figure. But here's some box looks Dan posted yesterday because we got all those blurry pictures. So at least I wanted to show you guys some. The packaging looks much better for Marvel Legends than it does G.I. Joe Classified. We finally got comic art.
I think that this packaging in particular looks really good because it evokes pulpy novel comic, like the color choice, font choices, the fact that it's called Strange Tales and it has the supernatural, the art on the side. There's something very classic 1950s, 1940s about it, and it really stands out.
And I think it helps the sell through with the Build-A-Figure. I might not actually throw this packaging away. It looks pretty good. I hate to say that because I hate boxes just laying around. But all right, one more thing we got. It was the tease. This is Baldy Locks on the left. We got half his face because we got to get the whole thing in there. But shout out to Baldy. He posted this. I think most of us kind of figured this out. I said, oh, could it be a swerve? But then I was thinking, guys, we just got Kang, but maybe something like this. KJ, you want to take this one? Maybe a chair, maybe soft goods. What do you think?
Yeah. I think they're going to have to slightly rebrand with Kang as a big bad because of all the problems that the lead actor was having with that. So they're going just to remind people, hey, Kang as a character and as a piece of the fabric of Marvel Comics and the ongoing MCU tapestry is great. So keep investing in Kang while they put out this fire, behind the scenes backstage over at Marvel Studios. So I think it's a great way to keep the character in the forefront. Fantastic Four is on the way. Kang, Nathaniel Richards, is still going to be a big piece of that puzzle. So it's a perfect play as far as I'm concerned. As getting an even better Kang figure out that has nothing to do with some of the nonsense and turbulence that we've seen in the MCU. Sure.
Well said. Any other thoughts on this tease that we got?
It's probably Kang, and if it's great, I'll probably end up getting it.
Maybe how about like a Council of Kang, possibly extra heads with the chair. It could be this big deluxe thing. Chair, soft goods, extra heads. Kind of brings interest to Kang the Conqueror again.
Very cool. I don't know if there are that many Kang fans though. That was the danger of making Kang the big bad. Like when they introduced Thanos, enough people knew about Infinity Gauntlet, and Thanos had a profile before that end credit scene in Avengers back in 2012, right? Kang didn't really have that. So there's going to be more education with Kang as a character compared to Thanos or other big bads.
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to keep you here, KJ. Total whiskeys. Yeah, he nailed it. Great comment. Total whiskey score for the fan stream for Marvel from Monday.
I'm going to say 3.75. I'm still not going to be out racing to grab this, but I think the packaging's better. I think between the last time we saw Occult Marvel have this much of a footprint was the Engines of Vengeance HasLab. And I think that stumble made the Legends team try harder. It made them not take things for granted. With everything that's going on with the MCU underperforming, I think it's making everybody not resting on their laurels and just making the figures and the art speak for itself. And that's the way to do it. That's the way it has to be.
That's what's up. Actually, we got a perfect segue before I get to Bobby and Spec. We got this comment right up here. I got to put it up. That Kang weapon is a t-shirt cannon and a half. So we should remind people that what do we have about maybe 20 minutes? Let's do right before we bring Shark on. We'll do about 20 minutes because we got one more segment before we get to Shark. So let's do 20 minutes, 25 minutes around there. So we'll bring it up. Go ahead.
Listen, well, here's the thing. We got 89 people watching us. We only have 12 entries. All right. So that is to get this shirt, like, by all means, hashtag Yojo Marvel. Get yourself a free shirt. It's not that hard, people. Let's go.
I'm going to hashtag it if enough people don't. I'm gonna go unethical.
Do
Put my name in there.
Yeah. Actually, last I looked, we had almost 100 people watching us talk about Marvel. That's never happened.
91, yeah, we had 90.
Yeah, we had actually. I was looking. It was like 99. So, but then we were trying to give stuff away, and they ran away. So that's what's going to happen. All right, Spec. Fanstream whiskeys.
I'm gonna go 2.5, and it's a lot of great reveals. You guys hit on it all. There was a lot that I really did like, even though I'm not collecting. It just felt flat. Like there was just a lack of excitement. I know, is it Dwight? Is that the dude with the beard?
Yeah.
Like you could tell that he's into it and he's excited, but the marketing guy,
Ryan Ting.
yeah, he just felt more corporate. More like, I got to keep this on the rails. I got to keep this going.
That's his job.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look at the dichotomy. Look at BMAC or look at Emily, and like, there's there's something about the way that they're able to keep it on track, but infuse their own personal excitement and love of the brands into what they're doing.
And you know, I love this conversation because I don't even get it, because we could blame Disney, but there's Jesse Falcon. Do you guys know Jesse Falcon? He's an actor. Great personality. I chat with him. I get to see he's an animal in a good way. He's fun. Like, I don't know what it is. I mean, he's definitely business when it's time to be, you know, he's serious. And maybe that's the thing, maybe on the fan stream, because when I see these guys at Comic-Con, they're a blast to talk to. All of them. Ryan jokes the whole time you see him at Comic-Con. Dwight is the most fun person I met last year at Comic-Con. But I think they're, as a trio, and you bring up a great point, Dave, Dan Yoon, when he's there, that dichotomy they have with all together, all three of them is wonderful. But you take one of them away, I don't know what. Bobby, what do you think?
I feel Ryan is the straight man on the show. He's the one that doesn't break. He keeps everything going.
The business,
Dan is like the comedy side. He kind of like
social media guy. He's the guy,
exactly.
You know, the community manager, talks to the community. Yeah.
Exactly. But he also kind of like, you know, keeps things lighthearted.
I'm sorry, that comment, we have to read that out loud, especially since it's our guest. Can I get I was a guest on a toy kind of mood, and all I got was this lousy but nice Slickalicious t-shirt tee. Yes, you should. Yeah.
But but like I think without Dan, Ryan just seemed flat because he didn't have that person to bounce off of. And thanks, Bo. Thanks for I think he didn't have that. And like Dwight, I kind of feel they need to let Dwight just be a lot more Dwight. Just let him run with it at times.
Yeah, I feel like
he could be tired. He makes all these figures. He could be exhausted.
Look at Lenny.
I've seen him in other streams where he has a more biting, sarcastic sense of humor.
Yeah.
Where he maybe not like afraid to kind of give a little attitude back out towards the fandom or towards the and I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to feel his excitement or his passion, but I like that there was like some attitude to that. And this stream, it just was more corporate. I mean, you know, Dwight hit his moments of like, this is cool. I really love this. This was great. But then what was the other guy's name again? I forget.
Ryan.
Right. It was just very much like, I want to say happy birthday to my son. Here is this figure, and next is this figure, and we are moving on to this, and it was just it didn't pump me up. And I know it's not a line I collect, but I still get excited for this stuff, right?
And you know, I think that's a valid thing to say, because you always want new people to collect your toys. You don't always want just a piece of the hardcores, because they're going to buy no matter what, right? So you're that audience where maybe if you're having fun watching the stream, you're having more fun spending money. Right. So yeah, that's a good point. But look, we have a lot to talk about. We got a guess. Why don't we just do you did 2.5, we had 3.75. Bobby, give us a score.
3.
Whoa, you went lower with Marvel than Joe. Okay, so I'm gonna agree with KJ, 3.75. I didn't give my score last time for Joe June. You guys all gave it like what was it, Baldy and Bobby, you gave it 3.5, right? So I'm gonna go 3.75 for both. I think it's an even tie. I'm copping out. Now, we have a whole comparison about their years. That's just fan streams alone. So when it comes to fan streams, I don't know. I mean, it looks like most of you guys like the Joe one a little bit, but you guys seem disappointed in both to an extent. But what about the year Marvel Legends is having and the year G.I. Joe is having? That's our quick next subject. That's our plan now. It all started Marvel Legends with these two waves. They're pretty good. I mean, the Void is a crazy character, but a massive Build-A-Figure. I gave Power Princess ranked number 3. She ranked number 3 on my top 10. And I know Crystar, Black Panther, even the Vision, like some of those figures got a lot of love. So that was a pretty good wave. And the retro Spider-Man wave, I mean, I had 3 in my top 10 or 2 in my top 10 and an honorable mention. I think it's a really good wave. You know, most people love Scarlet Spider and Tombstone. Jack-o'-lantern blew me away. I loved her. Hallows Eve gets credit. Think these are strong waves to start the year. And then we had the 60th anniversary of Wolverine, the 2-packs. I mean, just an onslaught of 2-packs. They've all come out already. There's been no delays. There you go. You're showing us Scarlet Spider, tremendous figure. And X-Men 97, right? So we haven't gotten a whole lot of X-Men 97, but we got 2 waves, and the show just came out, right? Like not too long ago. So that's pretty good. And most people like this wave as you're showing the figures. So I think they came on to a hot start. We'll cut to you guys. I'll go to you, KJ. How are you feeling about how Marvel started off the year in comparison to what G.I. Joe had to offer?
I mean, Marvel is like 5 lines in one, because you have comic book, you have MCU, you have animated, you have all number of things. In G.I. Joe, they're doing this with very little media outside of Snake Eyes Origins back in 2021, right? And what other comic book lines that fans may or may not have read. I'm surprised how much education goes on with G.I. Joe Classified when a new figure shows up. They're like, who's this figure? I'm like, well, it's Wreckage. What? You don't know who Wreckage is? Sometimes it feels like a retcon. Like, it's like, what? It's Marshmallow. You don't know who Marshmallow is? Like, it's so, but with Marvel doesn't really have that problem. So if you're collecting Spider-Man, this is your year. You're collecting Wolverine, 60th anniversary, this is your year. The 85 years, Warbirds, all look at that, like what Bobby has. So it's a little unfair, even with the glut that we're getting on a Classified series between last year and this year. Legends is right up there, and we got some really great stuff just in this year alone. So the Joe Fanemy says that the Joes still have it beat, but it's close because the Legends, like I said, they're getting better. They're getting better. And if they want Legends to continue past the 20th anniversary, they have no choice but to get better.
Yeah. That's a good point. Nailed it. Bobby, how you feeling? So here's the thing, Bobby. I'm so happy you're here, man, because when a Toy Kind of Mood started, 3.5 years ago, we had Ronnie. Shout out to Ronnie. He's the Star Wars guy. I was coming in as the G.I. Joe guy, and you were the Marvel guy.
Yeah.
You are no longer really, other than the comics, obviously you schooled us all today. But when it comes to the figures, you're not really the Marvel guy here anymore. But how are you feeling about Marvel Legends year? Maybe, you're like, what is that like fan called? Maybe KJ or Spectro is like lapsed fan. You're like the lapsed fan coming in because you were a fan of big time of Marvel Legends. They let you down with high costs, low accessories, but now they're having a decent, pretty damn good year, actually. How you feeling, man, overall about Marvel and Joe?
The prodigal son has returned to a point. Look, here's the thing. Marvel has been killing it this year. And and something that KJ mentioned earlier is because the HasLab kind of tripped. I think a lot of their waves went straight to Ollie's or Ross, and I think
the MCU stuff.
I think if you look at these are all comic book figures, and I think the Marvel Legends crew had to take a step back, kind of regroup, kind of take a deep breath, and go, okay, what do we want to do? Well, you know what? Let's do the comic books. Let's bring. Do I think Marvel is killing it this year? Yeah, I do. I said I wouldn't buy that Nightcrawler. What I do? I bought the Nightcrawler. Why? Because I mean,
This is Nightcrawler.
It's Nightcrawler, it's X-Men 97. It's two great
it's Kurt.
things combined. Yeah.
And I've got the great Kurt up there with the swords. I love the hair on here. I missed it on that Warbird, which I have to find her. I got that. I pre-ordered that Ghost Rider. I pre-ordered that. I hate 2-packs, but I pre-ordered that fucking Iron Fist Luke Cage. I pre-ordered that Hulkbuster. It's like, goddamn. Like, Marvel.
Well, here's a point. Here's a point from our friend Tony. He says there's way more. So I got the numbers here, man. I got them written down. Marvel Legends had 57 figures this year. Only 2 were MCU, unless you count X-Men 97, which is technically the MCU, but it's animated. And a lot of the comic fans are fans of the animation, especially X-Men. So then it would be 8. But I mean, that's kind of, if you're doing an animated, it's kind of comic and TV. But regardless, 57 figures, right? Yeah. Well, we'll talk about vehicles and stuff in a second. 57 figures released. And we're not talking about the figures we're going to talk about with our guy from Down Under. Released in the United States and most of the world, 13 figures for G.I. Joe Classified compared to 57. I'm including figures and 2-packs and ones that come in vehicles. So 2-packs are 2 figures, figures that come inside of a vamp, a clutch, that counts. And but here's the thing. It's all about the vehicles with G.I. Joe. That's been kind of their focus now. Look at the 2 unboxings in 1 week with Lenny and B-Mac, right? 2 in 1 week. One's a HasLab, one's a... We weren't getting, like, everybody was asking for vehicles, and David Speck has his hand up.
I do. So 13 figures released this year, right? But let's remember that we're coming off a 6-month run in 2023 where they released a year's worth of product in a short period of time. And we just got smacked upside the head.
Nailed.
No tomorrow. And I think coming off of that, even though that there's only been 13 figures so far this year, at least to me, it feels like there's been so much more.
Exactly. It's like if you're still catching up with everything in the line because you had other monetary concerns, or you weren't getting the ferret, getting the vamp, getting the multi-packs and the retro card backs, you're still buying Joes at a good pace. It doesn't need to be like, yeah, where are my Joes at? No, there's plenty of people that are still catching up on Joes. I still need to catch them on 60th anniversary. I still need to grab Nagahide. I just got Mutton Junkyard thanks to the Power Pulse sale. So there's a lot to keep us busy.
Yeah. And I will say this to Marvel as well. While Marvel's having just an amazing year, I'm really like the Logan Sabretooth, the Angel. Like, I think what it is also is that the quality has also jumped up. Now that Spider-Man wave you showed, I got Scarlet Spider because he had like 4. Once again, I got it because he was on sale, but I was pissed because he didn't go with any webbing. Like, I'll keep him in the packaging. Like, look, this looks great. And it looks fantastic, but there's no webbing. Like none of them. Like, now, Jack Lantern did come with webbing. I passed
lot of accessories for Jack Lantern. Yeah.
But like I got my cable. Like, this cable is fantastic.
Right.
And
Well, let me jump in real quick. So I seen a lot of comments saying quality over quantity, but I'm telling you guys, I don't know if you're coming from like I'm guessing most of you leaving comments only are collecting G.I. Joe Classified and may have been people who used to collect Legends and you switched over. So now it's easy for you to say those kind of things. I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I'm saying is there's actually a lot of quality here compared to what Marvel had in the past. And Spec brought up a great point. We got nailed last year with a gazillion G.I. Joe Classified. So now they're focused on vehicles. We're kind of waiting. Distribution's a little wacky, but it's like, man, but the Marvel stuff is good. I mean, look at these 2 things. I had it 1 and 2 in my top 10. These 2 things rival almost any classified thing I have other than right 100%. Here. Other than where am I going? Right here. Duke and Scarlet. I see a lot of people's favorite figures of the year. I have Shield and Angel around where they're at or a little lower. Like, the quality of Marvel Legends is damn good. But if you're not into Marvel, of course you're gonna wave the flag for G.I. Joe, right? I mean, look, those are tremendous figures.
Yeah, I mean, I have an Angel sitting in my trunk right now that I got discounted for $25, and I had to like look at myself and say, I don't need Marvel Legends. I need to stop with the line, and I'm gonna let a buddy have it for that price. Like,
Yep.
And but I will say, like, Marvel Legends, there's a lot that intrigues me. That Falcon Captain America looks fantastic, and I've seen it at Target several times, and it's always tempting. And there's several in this wave that was announced today that's tempting, and that Phoenix and that Odin and stuff from the prior waves. I did get Deadpool, and I wasn't gonna get the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, but I stumbled upon him at GameStop, and I had a gift card, so I grabbed him. Like they're both doing a bang up job. If you're a huge fan of Marvel Comics, I think there is a lot to be excited for.
Right.
But in the long run, I think Jason S said it, and of course I can't highlight the comics, so comments. I don't remember where it is, but it's where is it? Here it is. Joe still has a bit of novelty to it, still has a lot of characters they haven't touched yet to get people excited. Legends is all redos, variants, and very deep cuts. And it's kind of like we talked about earlier. Joe is still in its infancy, right? I mean, we're 5 years in, but it's still younger than Marvel Legends. And I think that there's still new fans coming in. I think there's still a lot of excitement that's being generated. There's still a lot of characters people want.
Yep.
that they're working towards. And then the biggest thing is what we just talked about in terms of presentation. Like I'm not knocking Dwight and Ryan, but you can't beat the energy and the synergy of like Lenny, Tony, Emily, and now BMAC. And I know BMAC's like still kind of like feeling his way to where he fits into this.
But he seems like he's having more fun with Joe than he was with Transformers. Just saying.
Yeah, and I think that the Transformers guys have fun too. I
Yeah,
can't remember their painter's name, but that dude with the thick New England accent who just like
Mark.
He's just always having a good time. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I like watching him talk and like how he worked with the designer. But back into Joe, like two unboxings, right? The Dragonfly and the Stinger. And Lenny is like a fucking 4-year-old on a sugar high, playing with this shit while we're trying to explain it. And then you have the yang to his yin with BMAC this time around, like kind of reining him in and focusing where they need to go. And hey, let's do this. Let's do that. But they're grown adults having fun, playing with their toys, which is what we are. And I'm like living through him as I'm watching these.
Makes sense. They're connecting to the fans a little better with it. But let me just cut you off because we have a super chat.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, we'll make it worth your while in the replay.
Thank you, Jason. I know he's a Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe Classified fan, so appreciate him checking it out for sure. But why don't we get our guest's opinion on the subject before we move on to Yojo June coverage?
Well, hey, Travis, before we bring our guest on, do we want to do the raffle?
Sure. Why not? Let's do it.
Okay. Real quick. We got 21 entries. We have 102 people watching. Hashtag Yojo Marvel. Travis, you want to show the picture real quick?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You get that shirt from Slickalicious. We have 2 entries. All right. Let's see here. Let me go.
I saw a funny comment. I think it was like Judge Dreads. He goes, I don't want the shirt. It's like, well, you could win and give it away. I think someone actually did that last time. You get it. You give it to friends who like G.I. Joe. I'm sure you have one person in your life, or you just give it to a kid or something, right? So, all right, cool. So are you doing this? Cool.
We got 25 entries. Let's see. We'll do. Hold on. I'm watching the clock tick down. We'll give you 40 seconds.
Right at 110.
At 110. Cool. Yojo Marvel.
Watching us, if you can give us a like, that would be awesome. And whenever we can get 100 likes, the algorithm pays more attention and becomes a little bit more human.
Thank you for that, KJ. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you're watching the show, give us a like. We got a panel at Joe Fest this week, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be on Saturday, but we'll talk about Joe Fest a little later and Yojo June in a minute. We're giving a shirt away right now.
5, 4,
3, 2,
3,
1.
2. Let's
Baldy
see here.
lost. Baldy better not win. Neither would Tony. Gaz! Old friend Gaz. All right, cool.
All right.
Oh man, Gaz isn't going to Joe Fest. I don't think. I think he went last year. But we could have just handed him the shirt. But no, that's good. Good stuff. We'll get. I know Gaz, so it'll be easy to get his information. Perfect. So yeah, congratulations, Gaz. Thanks for watching. You're a legend. You're always telling us we're legends. You're a legend. All right, great, cool. Let's bring on Shark Eye.
Let's do it.
Because it's funny. He's like, I don't know anything about Marvel. Then he leaves 20 comments about Marvel. So here we go, Shark Eye. Adam, what's up, man? How we doing?
I'm good. How are you, fellas?
What's up, buddy?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Excellent. Cheers.
Cheers to you. Before anything, I have to ask. I love a shark kind of mood, but I got to ask: is it shark-eyed toy or shark eyes?
All right. So when I created the channel, I went with shark-eyed, right? And then it was Punk that kind of made me change it, because he's like, everyone knows you as Shark Eyes, so why don't you just call it Shark Eyes? And I was like, that makes sense. And I was just trying to be clever. Like when I created the name, I was looking like, okay, I need a name. What am I going to go with? 4 words. That seems to be the jam. Like a toy kind of mood, Punk with toys. And I was like doing a bit of Googling. I was like, yeah, you want to name your channel with 4 words. It's catchy. And I was like, all right, sweet, that works. So that's how it came to be.
Either way, you're going to be Set V from now on. Set V. I don't know. Is it like German or something? But anyway, man, thanks for joining us. We got a lot of cool stuff. We're going to talk about all those amazing reviews you put out, the consistency. Cool. You're going to rank them for us. So we're going to go in order and kind of give us a lowdown about all the figures we haven't shown in this battle. But I got to ask, man, after seeing us debate about this Marvel Legends versus Joe, maybe based on some of the fan stream stuff, how you feeling about that? Like just the quality versus quantity, just your thoughts on this, like this debate we got going on.
I mean, like with the Joe stuff, you're always going to get more because, you know, they own the IP. They don't have to pay like any licensing, so they can put more into it, more budget into it. And you're also talking about a line historically that had a lot of accessories. If you look back at previous iterations of the Marvel figures, they never ever came with a lot. You know what I mean? Even like a Punisher figure would come with 1 or 2 guns or something like that. Right. So they've kind of followed that same sort of model. You know, with that said, the Marvel stuff, a lot of it is nice. Like I've told you, Travis, I don't collect a lot of it. I've got bits and pieces over here. And I buy them once in a blue moon. But I appreciate it from afar, but I'm going to be biased, man. Like, Joe is my dad. I can't sugarcoat it. You know what I mean? Like, and just, you know, with the classified line, we've been blessed. Like, if you were with it from the start, you're like, oh, this is not looking good. And then it's just gradually gotten better over time. Sure, it's not perfect. It has its flaws, but no toy line is perfect. So,
right. I got you. Yeah. Well, the good news is for G.I. Joe Classified, we have 28 figures coming, and I think you have 26 of them already, you bastard. So, no, I'm joking. I think you got like 6 or 7 of them. Yeah, well, you got 6 or 7. You got a good percentage of them. We still have. We have two bikes right now, but we got 2 bikes coming, 2 mid-sized vehicles. Some of the stuff we'll talk about, Yojo June, and a HasLab. Now you got the Giant Man HasLab, which I forgot and put a picture, but I'm excited for it. Definitely ordered one. And you get the Dragonfly, but the Dragonfly there's way more excitement for this thing, right, than the Giant Man. I mean, is that across the board? Just putting your biases aside, I'll go with Bobby on this. Like you were the Marvel guy that became the Joey and Marvel guy. Like Giant Man HasLab, Dragonfly HasLab. Like, what's your vibe if you can just kind of put any bias away?
I mean, putting all bias away, I got the Dragonfly. I didn't get Giant Man.
crazy. That's
Right there and
crazy
there.
to me. That's
And-
crazy to me. Look at all the comic stuff you talked about tonight, and you
Oh,
got
no.
a helicopter. You really didn't know a whole lot about,
No
right?
shit about
Maybe
it.
star in the
No shit
cartoon.
about it.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. You was honest, but that's amazing. That's crazy.
And that's what I've told Lenny both times we've been interviewed. I'm like, you're talking to a guy who knew G.I. Joe face level. Like, I know Duke, Scarlet, everything, those characters. Shipwreck was my favorite. That's the one G.I. Joe I remember having. I had Shipwreck. And now my shelf is littered with G.I. Joes. I've got the Hiss thing. I've got the Dragonfly coming in. It's like Spec got me 2 of the ferrets. Like I've got all the shit coming in. And it's like, and I won't lie, I have one comic book from as a kid. I just jumped onto G.I. Joe comic books for the first time with the Skybound stuff. That's it.
Are you gonna get the compendium, or is it little much, right? Because So I saw a comment on Full Force. Shout out to Chris. It said someone was like, I can't do the compendium because we got the Rattler or the HasLab, whatever. We were all assuming it's a Rattler. We'll talk about that later, but it's like, you got to pick and choose. You're not gonna pay $400 for comics if you get a $400 vehicle coming, right? So
yeah, exactly.
A tough choice. I don't know, man. Look, KJ, what else you got for me on this debate? We got all the vehicles coming. We got 28 vehicles. For Marvel Legends, we got 15. So I think, is it a distribution problem here? Maybe is that why I'm kind of like, but I think Marvel Legends is doing better. Is it because I don't have all those Joes yet?
Not a distribution problem. It's a distribution issue. So you got to remember, a lot of this factories come into play, regions, different areas. So just depending on proximity, right? Like Adam in Australia, he's going to get things before we do because it's closer than where we are, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have Legends where, frankly, they have more figures. They have more characters, so they make more. And so they're going to get the stores quicker, right? Mm-hmm. Like there are more Scarlet Spiders than probably those 60th anniversary figures, right? Because you're going to Targets, you're going to Walmarts, not Entertainment Earth, not Big Bad Toy Store, right? It's a smaller footprint. We're in a bubble. The Joe fan is a bit of a bubble. Punk talks about this all the time. Yeah, that Joe collectors aren't necessarily toy collectors where they get everything, right? Think about if I'm getting Mofex, if I'm getting the T800 endoskeleton, right, from overseas, and I'm getting that from Hobby Search, Nin Game, or Plaza Japan. It's going to take longer, and it's going to have a smaller footprint. There are less of those figures than Marvel Legends and whatnot. Classified's kind of in between for the time being until they make even more. Spec talked about the flood that we got last year. About half of the line came out in that 6-month period last year. It was crazy. So it all depends. It's their issues, not necessarily problems. It's just what it is.
Cool. Adam, you got any other thoughts on this before we move on to Yojo June? Just and we gotta ask: are you guys all just picking G.I. Joe? Is anyone else picking Marvel? I pick Marvel because I think they gave quality and quantity. I love G.I. Joe Classified.
I'm going Marvel.
Oh, you are going Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So hold on. Well, hold on. So is it just you or KJ? Who are you going?
Joe's, but it was close because Marvel's
okay.
They look good. I mean, think about it. We just celebrated Yojo June. I'll touch on it later. But, this last pre-order was repaints. It was legacy repaints, and that makes a difference. But if you already have that Vamp, that Spirit, that Low Light, and that Sarge, did you get anything new?
Right.
We'll talk about it later.
We can get into that.
I love that discussion. I can't wait to get there.
All right, cool. We'll get there now. So it looks like we got 3-2 Joe, which seems, all right. I think that makes sense. A toy kind of mood is a G.I. Joe at our center, but Marvel Legends, we're getting popular. Maybe it has to do with a couple of nice reviews that are out there. Just kidding. Just put myself up for 1 second. But I think it was great. We got a couple highlighted comments we'll get to before we move on. I don't know. This doesn't seem. Let's see. It'll be a bit late.
That's for you guys since you're going to Joe Fest. Talk to Ace.
There we go. We'll save that for Joe Fest.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that, KJ. What was that?
No. Let's go ahead and go into a little bit. Congrats to Toyomic Displays on 100 subscribers.
Beautiful.
Let's get you 900 more.
Beautiful.
Craig from Slippalicious had a question about our ML wants, but we can touch on it a little bit. He doesn't collect ML, so it just depends. Sabir had a really good note about how pricey it is to collect multiple lines. I'm Black Genghis. I'm still collecting multiple lines, and I need to stop so I can eat food. And then Liquid Identity was talking about seeing in-hand reviews, but then waiting 2 months. I mean, if you go back to 2020 and 2021, hype sustained classified series, waiting on those figures, thinking about what you're going to do with all those figures. Those first couple of years were scant times for a line. It really was. There was at a point where it was a theoretical line. I remember when this dude right here, Travis Moody, was the first kid on the block that had Storm Shadow and Spirit and everything else. First
Too bad I wasn't doing reviews then. We would be at 10K now, not almost 4K.
Hey, man. I tried giving you advice, but the point is,
I'm a late bloomer. It took me years, but look at us now. We're doing okay.
So the point is that you either stick with the line because you love it, or if you get bored, drop off. I'll be the first one to say, go collect something else. I've been a Joe fan since the 80s. Like this is what I do. I don't have a stake in anyone else collecting what I did, even if it ends up shortening the length of that line. I still got what I wanted. So did you get what you wanted? That's the question. Whether how long it takes, that's up to you.
For sure. I want to comment on this comment actually. So it's funny. I did a best of Marvel so far, but I did a most wanted G.I. Joe. Now, where are the other two? I didn't do a best of G.I. Joe because Adam has all the toys I want on that list. I can't do a list with G.I. Joes I don't have, but they're out. So it's weird. It's like, how do I do a best of the year so far? If they're out and reviewed, then people are going to leave comments. Where's Jinx? Where's this? So I'm like, okay. They're not going to understand that we don't have them yet, or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I got to wait until August to do it. And then by then, is that a best of the whole year? Like, I don't even know if I'm going to do a best of Joe, but most wanted Marvel, I can't do it because the figure, and I tried to do in my most wanted Joe, it was stuff coming out, but like Marvel Legends doesn't tease anything. They don't do what G.I. Joe does. G.I. Joe does name only, digital render. Then, that whole, they go through a process. Marvel Legends just it's either leaked by Rectangular or whatever on Instagram or something, or it's just revealed. You know what I mean? There's no they give a hint with here's the gun, try to guess who it is. They don't really set the tone of what you're getting. So it's hard to do a wants list. I don't know, Bobby, do you agree with that? Do you have any wants that are official? It's we don't know, right?
No, and I've said this before on the show. My wants are always to finish teams, right? So we got Astonishing X-Men started, finish it. We got Gen X started, finish it. We're finishing X-Force and X-Factor, great. But like we said earlier, like I said earlier with the Bloodstorm, cool. That's it. That's a Mutant X team or Exiles, whichever way you want to go. Finish the team. That is my want. Don't half-ass it, whole half-ass it, and give us the figure.
The two brands operate at a different rate, and that's kind of why it's easy to do a top 10 of the year so far when you got 57 releases. I didn't buy every 57 releases, but I bought enough to be I got 20 here, and I could do a top 10 and 5 honorable mentions and 5 that didn't make it.
Exactly, and with damn it, the Marauders, right? I've been wanting the Marauders for a while, and we finally got 3 of them dropped, and and one of them, fucking 2-pack, couldn't get it because it's premium. So
look at that segue. Look at that segue. We're gonna talk about something first, but we're gonna get right into Marauders. You're already talking about it.
Speaking of Marauders in blue, I just want to shout out to Adam, our man down under, repping the North Carolina hoodie. AJ's from North Carolina. I went to college in North Carolina.
All right, here we go.
Tar Heels, baby.
Oh, yeah. Tar Heels, baby.
Go Wolverines. Right. Go Wolverines.
But no, I literally because it was premium, Travis, I had to text your roomie, and he had to help me. He had to pick them up for me.
Oh yeah, he got a few, but I think they're still up, right? They're not sold out despite being exclusive. Is this
Only
correct,
the
guys? Do we
Stinger.
know? Anybody
Only
I'm
looking?
gonna look right now.
All right, beautiful. All right. Well, anyway, let's talk to our guest. It's Yo Joe June. How you feeling about these, Adam? And how is the distribution? Are you able to pre-order these from Australia? You gotta wait. What's the story with Hasbro Pulse and the stuff that we saw at Yo Joe June? What's up with it for you?
Okay, I'll go in order. 1, no, I'm not feeling these, but I can expand on that later if you like.
No, do
2,
it now. Talk about it.
I just don't do this sub team. Like, I had some
Gotcha.
of them, the original figures as a kid, and I got those because I never had the V1 versions like Mutt and Junkyard for it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I like them. Like, I like the look of some of them, but I just don't have any desire to buy them. Yeah, that's just how I am. It's the same with Tiger Force and Night Force. Sorry, not
Sure.
Night Force, because I actually caught that with Python Patrol.
Python Patrol.
But no, they're not available here at this stage. In terms of pre-orders, I haven't seen anyone offering them. That could change in the next couple of days because our retailers here that stock Joe stuff, once Hasbro in the US put it up for pre-order, we usually tend to see it come online within a 2 to 3 day window most of the time. But with that said, there's times where we won't get certain things. So a good example of that is the recent Alpine Iron Grenadier wave.
Mhm.
Of that entire wave, the only figure that we've had made available to us is the Storm Shadow one.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Partial.
Yeah, it is interesting. And I've spoken to a couple of people who, operate on that side of things in terms of bringing in product and whatever. And they just haven't been offered it, and it doesn't look like they will be. So with that said, they did come up on Amazon overnight. So that's always an option for us too.
That's great.
But to your last question, do we have Hasbro Pulse here? Not yet. That's been bandied about for the last 12 months or so, and there's been no headway. I think the last country to get access, was Malaysia, one of the Asian countries, I think it was.
Gotcha.
And we're still on the outer rim for whatever reason. Hasbro Australia is terrible. They haven't had like a good name here for a long time, and they're completely separate to Hasbro in America. They operate in their own sort of realm, and most third-party sellers that I speak to just do not have good things to say about their dealings with them in the past, and that's why they tend to go with other wholesalers as well. So.
Gotcha. I think KJ has a comment. He wants to put some shine on, bro. Go ahead.
Yes. So Mr. Madgis was asking about how a pre-order sells out. And Spec, I think you wanted to touch on that a little bit more.
Yeah, it's just when it comes to there's 2 things of it. When it comes to exclusives, and they say it time and time and time again, like the Stinger, which sold out on Pulse. It is a fan channel exclusive. So that means Pulse being the parent company and not the main reseller of that product gets a limited amount in reserve for themselves to sell. And as they've said time and time again, they know the amount that they're going to get. So when you order one on Pulse and the order goes through, you're getting it. So when they list that it's sold out, they know that they have no more. When they go to these other retailers, I'm sure that Hasbro can sit there and say, hey, we're doing a production run, an initial production run of 30,000 figures. And all of their vendors put in their orders, and Big Bad Toy Store puts in an order for 5,000, and Amazon puts in an order for 10,000, and Target puts in an order for 10,000. And they base their numbers off of that. They don't know for sure that they're going to get that 10,000 or how long it's going to take for them to get that 10,000 in terms of production run times and distribution and shipping and customs and port and whatever. But they have an idea of how many they're going to get. And there might be another run that comes later because the demand is so high but it's not difficult to understand that pre-orders can sell out based on production numbers and runs and what the parent company is saying. Hey, this is how many we're going to do, at least initially.
KJ.
Yeah. So let me do a share screen real quick because there's two things I want to, and I'll make this quick because this can get boring really fast. Minimum order quantities. And you also have economic order quantities, but right now we're just going to focus on this because the long and short is there's only so much shit you can make and there's only so much shit you can sell. So they can't just have this be an open-ended of vamps. Otherwise, we wouldn't get stingers. This can't be open-ended stingers. Otherwise, we won't get vamp Mark IIs, the tan vamps, the dreadnought vamps, so on and so forth. You can only make so much shit. You can only sell so much shit. So that's why pre-orders sell out. All right.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Let's just run through Yojo June real quick. What I'll probably do is just ask this. Did everybody, obviously not Adam, did everybody pre-order these at all, or did you skip Spec?
No,
and KJ?
All in.
All in. And Bobby, you went all in. Okay, so we're all in on the pre-orders, pretty much Stinger and all the Marauders. Did anybody have any, we talked about this already. Black Genghis talked about it on a show. Is there anything we're missing from Marauders that you guys want to look at? We got clearer, nicer, prettier pictures this time around, but I'll go with you, KJ, real quick. Is there anything about Slaughter or the Marauders that you want to touch upon?
I do like the color arrangements here. Someone earlier in the chat said they didn't like how the updates acted compared to the originals, but for me, it makes more sense to prioritize the darks and the blues with the 2-pack, but keeping Sarge as close to the original figure as possible. Sarge is larger than life, so he can have a bolder color palette. That was my Sarge. I didn't have the USA Melloway Sarge. I had the Marauders Sarge.
Right.
So we didn't have eBay, swap meets, that kind of stuff. If a figure ran out, then you got the repaint or you got the second version. So that's why some people, they like that Snake Eyes. They like that Arctic Kayak Stalker because that was their stalker. That was their Cobra Commander, that kind of thing. So this was my Sarge, and now I'm getting it in 6-inch, and it's going to be super awesome. Like, I love the colors. I love the zaniness, and it's not for everybody. Like, I think you can still get the classic Sarge. If you go on eBay, you don't have to pay that much, basically, right? But if you like this colorway, if you like that aesthetic, then just be here for it because these are toys. And this is a very silly, toyetic version, but with Spirit and Lowlight, it's still just down and dirty enough that you can still put this with Night Force or Tiger Force or whatever. So I dig it, and I'm here for it. And also, I just want to say, I called the numbers. And those numbers were hard to read in the sneak peeks. So I had to guess on those numbers, and I went 3 for 3, baby. I'm very, very pleased with it.
Got it. Props to you. Bobby, you want to talk about any of the Marauders real quick, either Slaughter or any you said you went in.
I went in because I like, and honestly, so I like the deco. I like that blue. I love my barbecue, and I kind of needed just.
He's got to have some homies.
You know, and like I actually like that low. I like that low light better than the one that we've got. And
he's got life. He's got life to it.
Exactly. Like, look, again, I understand the reason why this low light is as bland as he is. I get it. He's supposed to be sniping you in the middle of the night. I get it. He's not supposed to be, bright and colored. I get that. But that one just looks fun and cool. Like, oh, I'm gonna snipe you in the middle of the day, and I don't give a shit because I've got,
he's got this time. He's got not just snipers, but he's got like rifles and stuff. Automatic
exactly.
rifles, ARs.
It looks fun. It looks fun. It looks, it's toyetic. And, do I need a subgroup? No, but I've got, 15 Cyclopses. Might as well have like a gold team, blue team. I might as well, yeah. I still got Sarge in his packaging. I'll probably never open that one up, but this one I will open.
All right, we're going to go to Adam. He's our guest. Now, you weren't able to pre-order, but you're probably all in on G.I. Joe Classified. I'm going to take it, right? Just based on, your social media, your reviews.
Yeah, look, I'm not a completionist. Like,
okay.
I buy what I like, and I'll definitely skip stuff. but for the most part, I buy a lot of it. And like like I said, these are nice and all, but I just don't need
pass on the Marauder.
Yeah, I just don't need double ups, of the same character, unless they're like in a different, like more different sort of style. You know what I mean? Like
I got you.
If like the good thing about that Lolo, for instance, he kind of looks like a Spec Ops sort of version. You know what I mean? Like the way they've kitted him out, and even the blue beanie looks good in contrast with the rest of him. But yeah, I just don't have a desire to get them. If they have to land here before they land anywhere else in the rest of the world, well,
if it helps the channel, then yeah, I think we all feel that way. I think a lot of us are like all in just to help the channel. But I think
I'm not gonna lie,
like, do we really need this crap as collectors? You know what I mean? Sometimes we're like, you got two sides of us, the content creator side of us, and then the do I really need to spend the money, and does it need to take up all the room in my man cave kind of deal?
And that's a salient point in itself. It's like, it's also about, for me, quality over quantity. Like, you only have X amount of room, and even though this room that I'm sitting in is my toy room, like, and there is a lot of room, it is still taken up by a lot of stuff. A 7.5-foot aircraft carrier in the middle of the damn room is a big part of that, of course, but there's also a lot of stuff you can't see off camera. So, you got to be realistic too, I think. Money doesn't grow on trees, and in this day and age, unless you're making money hand over fist and you can just afford to just throw it in the air at whatever, you gotta pick your poison, so to speak.
For sure. All right, let's switch gears and we'll go to Spec. We'll talk about, Spec, were you able to watch the unboxing at all?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Real quick, I just want to piggyback on what KJ said. Like, these sub teams, these repaints, not everybody's into them, but it is the way that some people were able to get some of these figures. I never had the original Spirit. Somebody gave them to me much later on. So my first Spirit was the Marauder's Spirit. I also just happened to love the color design of the Slaughter's Marauders, and that just makes it double for me. But like Copperhead, I never had the original Copperhead. Somebody gave him to me later. So my first Copperhead was Python Patrol, and I just loved the color of it. And to me, sub teams serve several purposes, and it's nostalgia based on being able to get what you were able to get when you came into the line, and it's the sub teams being what their specialties were for specific missions.
Yeah. Anybody answer this?
Niall, I think.
Niall, isn't it? I think. Yeah.
I think it's
there. You
Niall.
go.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. The Boston guy's never gonna pronounce anything. Fucking right. Well, we the champ. Well, we're champions. All right, let's move on away from Marauders, though. Let's talk about, you know what? Let's just get right into it. The fucking Nemesis.
Hold on a second. I just want to say, we got 119, 120 people watching. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up on there. That's all. I just wanted to say that.
No, that's what's up, KJ. Yeah. Check it out. We got Adam, Shark Eye kind of news. Shark Eye kind of mood. It's a Joe kind of June. We're a toy kind of mood. We have the largest panel at Joe Fest, right? What else can I say? And is legends are there. We have a 90-minute panel. Come on, guys, give us a like, right? We're putting in a good show. Marvel versus Joe. All the comments were for Joe, you bastards. But let's talk about Joe now. It's Joe time, and nothing bigger this week than this.
No.
Yeah.
Hooey.
Go ahead, jump in.
Damn.
He's a big, beefy motherfucker. I can't wait to see him unboxed, just to see like how broad he is and how tall he is compared to a standard Joe. My only question mark are the wings, because they kind of appendage out a little bit before they become wings, and I'm just curious how that's going to work and if I'm really going to like it, as opposed to doing something like what Marvel Legends did with the new Angel and his wings. But man, I'm super excited for him. I like Cobra Law, and I'm on board for this.
Want to mention Want to mention something real quick? Thank you, Tony Sfigs. Appreciate that. Yeah, 100. It's been about 120 tonight. Pretty good turnout. Want to mention that Full Force confirmed that this is not a Comic-Con exclusive.
Oh wow!
So I know some people were thinking Comic-Con exclusive, but I think they would do like a Comic-Con exclusive kind of thing is probably going to get rolled out by a retail, a media partner. You know, like a paid partnership kind of thing. Like I don't know who would do Joe, but someone. You know, like for Marvel would do Comic Book or Entertainment Weekly is going to tell you the Comic-Con exclusive. Like I'd be shocked if we didn't get that from a paid partnership. I think those are the kind of opportunities that, you know, like Deadpool and Wolverine, Marvel Legends, some media company is going to announce that, right? Like Empire Magazine or something like. So yeah, this is just a standard. This is a deluxe package, but it's not a Comic-Con exclusive.
I think the box gives it away that this isn't a Comic-Con or PulseCon exclusive. It would be a much more fancy design box.
Yeah,
Coco and a clam.
Which I love that they did that in the art, and I'm curious if it's 3D rendered or if somebody did like a sculpture that they put out. I mean, it looks like it's practical that somebody designed that and made it and put it out of focus in the background.
Now this is a possibility. They didn't say it wouldn't be PulseCon exclusive, and then some people are saying Raptor they think is
PulseCon exclusives also go out on the packaging. Like this just doesn't have that like chef's kiss packaging that the con exclusives.
It's a great variant.
That's a good call.
Yeah, it's a great variant, and I think the base figure at least is a home run. I think the wings they cheaped out on it a little bit. I think they could have had fuller wings with this. Like you basically have these two rods that stick out from this back, and then you have these sort of like winglet appendages. Like when you look at Angel or you look at even the NECA gargoyles, like this, it's like it's just enough wing that you can say it has wings. So I'll probably end up finding an alternative. But I love the base figure at least though.
Yep. Yeah, it's not as big as like even the Venom that came with the null.
No, exactly.
Yeah. You got a quick thought on this, and we'll let Shark Guys take us through his journey on Nemesis. Bobby.
Look, real quick, you know, because I'm kind of the comic, but I mean, I think we all read the Cobra Commander miniseries.
Good call.
The Nemesis in that was
yes.
Wings
but
were massive.
For those who haven't, please no spoilers.
Right.
But you know, this figure, and I'm kind of agreeing with y'all that the fact that the figure is amazing, the wings is just not. I'm not gonna say it's a swing and a miss, but it's like it's a blooper, and you know, it's a single.
Oh, here's the positive: they take less room on the shelf and in the detolf, so you have more figures. I don't hate that.
I get what they're trying to do. I mean, if you look at the art from Cobra Commander, the wings kind of follow that aesthetic a little more. If you look at it from like a creature standpoint, or you know, it makes it more of an appendage that comes out into a wing. Like I get what they're trying to do with it. I appreciate it to some degree. I think personally I would have preferred a more fuller wing. But I don't think it's going to deter my enjoyment of this figure once I get it in hand.
No, and once again, I mean, Trav, real quick, because I got Angel right here. I think this is what we're kind of hoping for. Was something where it's like, with this, like Angel can like, you know, bring you down. Like I was kind of hoping for more like this with that Venom from the Null 2-pack,
right.
Where it's
good call,
and Classified doesn't miss often, but
right,
this is kind of a
yeah.
All right, I want to not have wings. Okay. I will look into those Venom Null wings instead, because I want an impressive wingspan.
Yeah,
Shark, what are you thinking of our bad boy here?
Look, it's hard to say a great deal because we're only looking at the inbox like images. You know, once it's out and it's all put together, it's probably going to obviously look a lot more dynamic. He's a beefy mofo, like Spec said, and But one thing that does jump out to me is like looking at the back of the box and what we see from the front. You don't get a lot with it, but this figure is going to command a pretty penny because of the buck itself and what they've put into it.
Right.
You know, it's not going to be cheap. Me personally, I've got to I'm aligned with one of your co-hosts, Tony. Like, I don't do Cobra La. I've got no time for it. It's just one of those things. Like, I never saw the Joe movie as a kid. We had it here on VHS, and I just never watched it. Like, I watched other episodes of the animated series and enjoyed that, but for whatever reason, I never saw the film. And I only saw it like recently, like in the last couple of years. And I did enjoy it, but it just, that side of things just isn't really my cup of tea. It doesn't blend in my headcanon of Joe, which is really like strongly influenced by the comics. You know, I was a Marvel Comics fan, and especially the Joe comic, like from issue 50 was the first jump off point. And from that point on, I read that thing until the cows came home. And obviously Larry Hama was not having any parts of Cobra La, and completely just curved that to the side. And
so I guess you're not gonna have any part of this one then, because Lenny also revealed. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to Figure God. Figure God always making us laugh. Chaz the Guru, these meme gods of the Joe community. As you can see on the right, he had a lot of fun with stuff that isn't coming out. But he had the Globulus. Lenny, wait, there's one more after credit scene, and it's from Figure God. So I thought that was a fun shout there. And then just looking at the packaging, speaking of Globulus, there's some rumors that part of his tentacles or whatever it is, scaling is part of that packaging. I don't know if you guys have any strong hints or feelings towards this packaging. It looks really nice, but with a Globulus as part of it,
Yeah, I like this color scheme, the aesthetics of it. I like that Cobra Law is going to have this Globulus, Pythona, the Cobra Law guards. They're all going to have this. And I'm wondering if Once a Man Cobra Commander is going to have this. But that's pretty cool. And I wish they would do this more often. Like the Dreadnoks need to have even crazier packaging, right? I mean, because of the wave that they appeared in, we had that box art wave in the front that I still love. So they couldn't really do something like this with the windows and whatnot, right? But moving forward, like if we get other Dreadnoks, we get Zanzibar, we get Heart Wrencher, like, keep that going. The Iron Grenadiers, keep that going. And that's some of the things that can make the sub teams or the sublines more enticing.
Want to give a shout to our mutual friend. Sorry about that, KJ. Want to give a shout to our mutual friend Bobby B, because he had a breakdown right before we went live. I was able to capture it, and shout out to Bobby B. He talked about these possibilities, and all this stuff people are finding on the Weibo social media over in China. So there you go. We could put all the icons on it like Baldy and make a joke out of it. But, I saw B. I'm sure it went up. Yeah, I'm sure. What's on Joe Mind, Surveillance Port, Full Force. The list goes on and on of people probably posted about this, Chaz. But look, any thoughts on this female head mixed with Raptor Nemi parts? And then look, Doc's daughter, Black Series, Legacy Nurse, Medic, Marine Sniper. He's all guessing all over the place. You guys got any guesses on any of these pieces and parts we're seeing from the factory?
I'd rather.
I'll tell you right now, it's not Mace Windu.
Deep cut.
Adam, I just wanted to ask real quick, since you're not a Cobra La guy, have you read the Skybound books at all?
Oh, for sure, man.
And has it given you a new appreciation towards?
It has. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like the way that they've spliced that in, I was like, before reading those, I was gonna be like, I'm not a Duke fan. Like, Duke was never my guy. So after I saw people like talking up, I was like, all right. And you guys were, I think, were some of those people.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to give these a bash. And man, that Duke series is phenomenal. And the Cobra Commander one is on par, if not better. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool, but it still doesn't change. It doesn't sway me.
There. Well, just wait till you read Scarlet and Destro.
Yes. I've got to go pick them up tomorrow. Or I think Scarlet, is Destro out yet, or is that?
Yeah,
Came out
Destro's out.
today.
Yeah, that means we'll probably get it next week. Yeah, but I've got to pick up Scarlet tomorrow. Actually,
Here's the
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask my boss if we got a that 1 in 250 Destro, because he gave me the Duke and the Cobra. I'm getting them graded right now.
Nice. So
Which
yeah,
one's
there's
the
a look at
1 in 250?
Destro, and since we have it here, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. I know KJ said he's waiting on reading it, so no spoilers. But good book, good book. That's all.
Hold on a second. Spec, what did you ask me?
Which covers the 1 in 250?
The David Mack painted one.
Is there any of these?
It's the one on the far right, the David Mack.
right? Yeah.
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was just
There we
because
go.
my comic store got the one that I picked up today, the fire background, and then this one on the far left, the multi-panel.
Those are nice too. That reminds me of the old IDW Cobra kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like the adult stuff.
The Sunburst one is the 1 in 10. And my comic book shop did put that cover B, but I was like, no, I'm getting the Sunburst, I'm getting the connecting cover, and I'm getting cover A. I'm like, I don't need any more. And
yeah, and then a quick shout to Real American Heroes 307 that also came out today.
Oh shit, did it?
Yeah, I need to read that one.
I didn't put that in my box. Damn it, I gotta call them up and tell them.
All right, let's get back into it. Shift some gears. Adam, did you get the vamp?
Did I get the vamp?
Yeah. Do you have the vamp?
Yeah, I've got the vamp. Yeah, it's up
so
there. Yeah, I didn't review.
I don't know how many. How many of you guys watched this unboxing? It was a 20-minute video. Obviously, Nemesis Immortal was revealed at the end. But look, I think to save time, I'll just tell everyone instead of going crazy with this, because we got the vamp, right? We all got the vamp. We know what the vamp is. It's not that much different. So there's some differences here, but I would rather just have you guys watch the video if you haven't. Lenny and BMAC do a great job with it, and I think it's up for pre-order, obviously September 1st. And he was talking about the fact that you can mix and match pieces from the Stinger onto the vamp, so that's cool. And then he armored up the windows more, and he said he put more deco inside those doors as well, and then obviously tinted the front windshield more. So those were some highlights. And then I know KJ, I gotta ask you, you hated these blast effects, right?
Yeah, man. Listen, back in the day, I was a physics major, so thermodynamics are kind of my thing. And so you're gonna have the flame plume, and then you're gonna have the white smoke that's following after. So as a projectile or a missile is launching and firing, the reason you're seeing like the red and the orange exiting out of that missile and rocket is because it's fucking fire and heat and energy and everything, and then it dissipates into smoke and water vapor and whatnot. So I don't know what they were thinking. I can't use these. I would have to repaint these in order to use them. But for people who don't give a shit, it'll be fine.
Gotcha. Just want to say what up, Pac, because he's
Pac Photos. What's going on, man?
A great guy. Yeah. Cool. All right. Neat. All right, I think we're good on that. And then, this was a comparison, obviously, of the old school one, O-ring. Yeah. And then there's a size. So cool.
I do have to say, the flame effects for the Dragonfly that even have like the dog pin port in the flame itself, so great, so dope.
I'm with you on that.
They're around the right way, KJ, as well. The ones on the Dragonfly. Yeah.
Cool.
These ones, the ones they use for this, are just the ones that came with scrap iron, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny when they were doing the unboxing video, not the unboxing, when they did the reveal for this, I was sitting there going, man, wouldn't it be awesome if they had a dog bone port on the firing effect so that you could have the missile launching off the back of the Stinger, and then they did the unboxing on the Dragonfly video, and it was like, oh shit, okay, at least they thought of it someplace, right? So hopefully that's something they do from now on moving forward.
Cool. All right, and there's a look at the driver. Just some prettier pictures that we all went over this last time, but they're just clearer this time. Same thing with our whole Marvel presentation. When those pre-orders come out, we'll show you the high def pictures. But I think that's it for the Stinger. We talked about this. I'm sure most of you maybe have checked this out. 10 most anticipated figures, and I didn't include any of the ones that our friend has because he's here to talk about it instead. So segue here. Adam, this is the least favorite of the newer figures. The newer, you got some retros, you got some of the new wave, the Doc Wave, I like to call it, and you got the retros. You said you didn't bother you didn't even get the Cobra Eel.
Nah, I didn't. Like, I already had 3 of the first release, and that was enough. And then, I suggested to my friend Lenny, aka Frostbite's G.I. Joe Repro, who I'm on his show every week, that he review it. Like, so he did. So shout out to Lenny. He's in the chat today, prattling on. But yeah, so this guy, I initially, when I got this figure, I didn't have the first Snow Serpent that they released. And I was waiting for this one because I thought that they would, do it properly retro. And sure enough, the figure looks lovely and all. But, the accessories, I know that's been a big sticking point for a lot of people. Right. I'm one of those people. Even though the Dusty gun doesn't look too bad with it, it does suit it.
Right.
And it's an easy fix. I think it just sort of, I think a lot of people, you're buying these retros because you want it to be sort of true to the original, like 3 3/4 release. And when they tweak it like that, it's like, well, it's not a classified version. You know what I mean? It's a retro version. And I'm nitpicking, of course, but that's what we do, right? So,
right. Yeah, you have to. You're a critic. You're reviewing it. Like, you just want to. Right? Here's the thing. Your video says review on it. There's people that they don't put review and they unbox it, and that's fine. But if you're going to put review, you can't just be like, well, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is great. You're giving us a review, an honest review. It doesn't mean, Hasbro and all this crazy. You don't have to go on a crazy rant about how terrible the company is and angry and all that. But you can hey, I'd like to see this better. I like these people who work on the product. They're great people. I love the product, but I don't like this. And it's okay to tell them that. It's okay to be honest about it, unless you're too big to be honest, I guess, right? That's it.
Yeah.
It is.
There's nothing wrong with constructive criticism. You know what I mean? There's a way to deliver that without being an asshat. And I think a lot of people, fail on that front.
And the nice thing is as we've seen, and sometimes it takes a while because of how design and product and timeline and all that work out. And some people don't understand that it's not an instantaneous process. But the Joe team and the Marvel team as well, as I noticed listening to them on their stream, but the Joe team in particular, they listen to us. And if we're not complete, when we sat there with Lenny and all that, we asked them straight up, hey, you guys know Falcon was a bomb in terms of the face sculpt. What are you going to do about it? Hey, you know that the retro Snow Serpent didn't come with the accurate weapons. Why is that? Is that a cost measure? Is that and he gave us his honest answer. And, 2 things will come out of that. They'll either continue as they're doing and they'll sit there and say it's a cost measure and we'd rather give you more accessories that we already have the molds for to give you the figure that you want. Or, hey, this is what these guys really said they want. Maybe we'll delay the release of X figure for another wave and give these guys the weapons that they really want. Or they'll know that Gridiron is going to make them.
Got you. So hold on. I want to hold you right there. And I got to do a segue. That's what we do. That is a hot topic at the Joe Fest June panel. Already talked to the boys about it. Tony, Spec, and Punk. I love what you're saying, Spec. We should save the rest of that part for the panel.
Copy you.
It's only in a few days. So you're like, damn it, I should be at Joe Fest on the panel. We should all be there. I'll Toy Kind of Move maybe next year. It'll be like 25 people on the panel. It'll be 7 hours long. But look, I love what your point is, but I do want to. Did you have a closing thought though on on this Snow Serpent before we move on to the next review? Because we got a flight.
I think closing thoughts are for our man up there, Mr. Shark.
Beautiful. So okay, so you gave that your least favorite. Naga Hide. Now it seems like you talked about reuse, right? And now it's probably not a surprise that he's here, but then a lot of people love this guy too.
Yeah. So I was looking forward to this set. Obviously it's a deluxe set, and when I got mine, now I need to preface this comment, like, just because mine was like this doesn't mean yours will be. But when I got mine, it had a few issues. So I don't have them here, but the first cab off the rank was the monkey's tail was snapped off in the packet.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was the first thing, like when I opened it up, I was like, okay. But I was just like, just keep going. It is what it is, it is what it is. And then I got to like the wrist machete that you see attached on his arm in the photo here. And putting that on for the first time, you can see the little bands that go around his forearm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the yellow.
Those things were brittle as fuck. And like one of them literally just fell off, when I was trying to put it on. And yeah, and the other one like has like a stress fracture in it. And I was like gentle with it. I wasn't using like sausage hands or anything like that. And, I took the hand off and all that sort of jazz. But yeah, my one was just, crapola out of the packet. The figure was stiff and all, but a hot water bath fixed that. He has obviously the gung-ho roadblock buck, which isn't great, but
yeah, it's an old buck, so it makes sense that you would have some issues on it. Yeah.
With that said, like, he has his pros as well. Like, the scarring deco. Well, let me see if we can put that there. You might be a bit hard to see.
I think you had it with the hand. If you wait, it usually gets clear.
Right there. You can see it there. Like, that's a nice touch.
Yeah. And
like the vest is great. He looks a bit goofy. The face sculpt's a little bit goofy for my liking.
Derpy, but
yeah, he looks like he's got Freddie Mercury teeth going on. Like, but it just fell a bit short for me. And the figure itself, not so much, but the accessories, like you mentioned, Trav, like the reuse, he can't hold that low light gun very well. The compound bow, which is the same one we got with Shadow Tracker and whatnot, mine is warped. That was warped out of the packet. And he's got the same backpack, which, he's got the vest, and obviously he's got no sort of strap or anything to sort of show that he's like holding it on. And it doesn't sit well at all. So he's sans accessories for a reason, and that's because I'm waiting for Mark and the fam at Gridiron to really do that figure justice and do the loadout for it. So that's why he's just in that mode. I literally pulled him off the display earlier for the show. He's sitting up there with the other Dreadnoks. He's like laying in the cut at the back. You can't even see him. He's just tucked in there. But it just fell short for me. And I feel like, for a deluxe price point, and you got to factor in Australian pricing too here, with the exchange rate and freight and all that jazz. It's like, you should be able to expect a little bit more. And I have seen other Aussie collectors a couple of them who have had issues with the figure as well. They're like not the same issues as me, but who knows? Maybe we got a dodgy batch.
Because you got it the first batch. Yeah. I remember when I got the wave from Revenge of the Nerd. Remember that guy? And I got that wave, and like some of the stuff was kooky. And then when people finally got it, like a month or two later, they were like, "Oh, this is fine. This is fine." And I was like, "Oh," because I got it basically fresh off the factory.
Yep.
Kind of thing. So that's the one woe of getting some stuff early.
I think so, man.
Running changes. That's usually like sometimes there'll be like little aesthetic changes, but a lot of times it's just a fix. It's like, let's do a fix. Let's fix the waist. Let's fix the ankle. That kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
KJ.
Adam, I'll agree with you. Like Nagahide was one of my favorite dreadnoks, and I'm really looking forward to him. But that roadblock gung ho buck,
Oh,
it sucks.
Yeah,
I'm not like it was one of the original ones. It's
pose,
not a
yeah.
good buck. Like they need to get it out of their rotation.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
top heavy, Dave. Like it doesn't stand well. Like when it's all kitted up, it's not good.
I got you.
Yeah,
I think
it-
my old roommate's in here. Look. Oh no, he's above. Sorry, he's right here. I thought it was Merman. All right, cool. Go ahead, KJ.
Yeah. You got to be careful with reuse, and you got to be smarter. Like, classified series is successful enough that they could have updated that gung ho roadblock buck, and hopefully with Nemesis Immortal, Nemesis Enforcer, and Road Pig, we'll have a better deluxe body. We saw it with Legends when they update the base that they use sometimes. Snake Eyes. By the time we get V4 Snake Eyes, hopefully that'll be a new mold, and that base will be like the ninja base they use going forward. If they're still using Wave 1 Snake Eyes for V4, that's going to be a problem because that's a 5-year-old mold at that point. Woo!
Absolutely. This, however, is awesome. And I think I said it in my review. A lot of the money, the budget for this set went to this.
Pork belly, yeah, pork belly.
Yeah.
Yobo.
He's great, man. Like, I'm all about animal companions in the line. And it's just so like it's an oddity, you know what I mean, to have a pet like boar, you know what I mean? So, and that's a good selling point for it, you know what I mean? Maybe by the time you guys get them, they'll have ironed out the kinks, and you'll be back in winners. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. I think you had an interview you had to pull up, KJ.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Joe team interview you did, because I still will go back and watch it from time to time because it's that good. So take a look at these fine folks talking directly with the Joe team. It was amazing. And once again, no softballs, no, cucumber mint water handouts. Like you guys went straight to the meat of it. And I got nothing but props from y'all.
Thank you.
Like I'm a working stiff, so I'm not always able to hop on and hang out with the homies. But yeah, go to this Joe team interview and check it out. It's just, if you haven't seen it yet, definitely give it a watch. And don't forget to leave a like if you like what you see. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled program.
Cool. Is there a reason why Spec has to talk about the hog, his hog? You want to talk about your hog for all the men in the room?
I'll talk about my hog, but KJ was telling me to talk about Adam's hog, and I don't know him well enough.
You ain't met him yet.
Anyway,
it looks like a very nice.
I'm secure, so I don't mind talking about my hog. I don't
what are we doing here? All right.
Well,
all
I
right,
thought like as a boar, I thought a while ago you're saying that boar should have been bigger. It's like I don't mind it being the size.
I still haven't gone back and done the research, but apparently I'm incorrect in terms of the proportions of a real boar. I remember seeing them at the zoo, and I thought I remember the front end being much broader. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I can totally admit it. I'm still excited to get the freaking animal. Like Joe's been killing it. Hasbro has been killing animals. Not literally, but like knocking it out of the park.
Yeah. Well, they make enough plastic that ultimately they will kill off the animals. No, I'm sorry, that was dark. I have Zabu. I'm waiting to put it together with Kazar for Black English YouTube. But yeah, it's a fun time right now if you're an animal lover or a plastic animal lover. If you were an animal lover, I guess you wouldn't be doing it.
What would that be? Like a plurry? Because it's not a furry. Flurry, right?
I go with that.
I bet you could.
All right, just a heads up. We probably got about 20 to 25 minutes left. So we're going to have to go a little quicker with what we got left. Bobby, you good for the next 20 minutes or you cool? You're here to the end. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's get to the next one. Now you had 2 videos for this one. Want to first of all tell us why? Adam?
Can't wait for this one.
Yeah, sure, man. So the first Night Creeper I got from one store. It had another QC issue. His crossbow wouldn't fix to the back because one of the fix points was warped, and I was like, okay. And then when I got the second two, I thought, well, why don't I just bust these open on camera and see if that is an issue that's going to be persisting with the release? And sure enough, it wasn't. And I figured, as an addendum piece, like it was worth putting out there because, it's very easy to have your first hand look at something swayed by what someone is saying. You know what I mean? Because, for instance, when I dropped the Night Creeper review, people were like, oh, disappointing. Like, I might have to pass on this and stuff. So I was like, well, hang on a second. It's people should see this, that like, they are toys. They aren't like works of art as much as we appreciate them. They are, they have their flaws. So that's why I did that video. And, this is the second one. So you can see that it's all in proper order. But in terms of my review, just to be quick on it, like it's, true to the original in a lot of ways. They changed a few different things here and there. It's nice and all, but I don't know. I would have liked to see maybe something different. I don't know what that is, but the second head is awesome. I think it looks really great with the second head. I don't have that close by, unfortunately, to show you, but it's nice enough. But it is what it is. It's not like reinventing the wheel. It's a Night Creeper, and that's it. So
I think it's great, but like, do you guys have any quick comments on Night Creeper? Bobby, let's go to you. You've been quiet for a minute. You got like how do you feel? How you feeling about maybe any of these three? How about that? You pick one and talk about it.
Well,
Snow Serpent, Naga Hide, or Night Creeper.
Night Creeper was cool. I pre-ordered Night Creeper. I pre-ordered Naga Hide, and I won't lie. Hearing Adam talk about the Naga Hide, like it didn't make me want to cancel, but it definitely made me go, should I wait?
Yeah, like, because it's a deluxe too. That works. Like, and it's mainline, right? It's mainline. It's not fan channel. Like, oh, we forgot to mention that Strange Tales was fan channel only.
Yeah.
So that I actually forgot about that because I made a post and it got so many corrections, and then of course in the notes forget to put the thing that everyone corrected me on. Oh yeah. But anyway, this is mainline stuff.
Yeah, and look, I'm not going to cancel, but I was like one of those things where, like I'm seeing Metalhead like Mutton Junkyard like just chilling at Target. I'm like, well, should I cancel? Should I wait? I'm like, screw it.
That's a good call. Good comparison. Yeah.
I'm gonna get it anyways. Like I'm hoping that maybe Adam just had like maybe the Aussies had a bad batch.
A Hong Kong fooey. Yeah.
And that's like maybe they just got a bad batch because it does look awesome. It looks fantastic. But then it's like yeah, but no, I'm gonna stick with it. Same with that Night Creeper. That Night Creeper looks fantastic.
But that's a good shout. Yep. Hold on, Bobby. You made it actually a good point without maybe making the point, but you brought up a good thing because don't just watch one review. Like whoever gets it first or whatever, like unfortunately that's kind of how the algorithm works. But I kind of like I was watching a Punk with Toys. He's not here to watch us, but I watched him today and he brought up a good point about how his Cobra Ferret's probably going to land when he's going to Joe Fest. Mine actually gets here the day when I get home. I think that's terrific. I'm going to be the 70th person to review it, but I'm coming home from Joe Fest to a Cobra Ferret. It's Christmas from Joe Fest. Like that's a good thing to have. Watch the reviews that are 5th, 10th, because they can bring in, maybe they don't have the fresh off the factory problems that Adam had. Sometimes I had problems when I reviewed stuff directly from China. I know B and Punk had issues when they were first, or any of the guys that are reviewing. Watch, I know it's time consuming, but watch different takes on it. Watch bits and pieces of 3, 4, 5 reviews if you can, and gather up all this intel and maybe make a decision for yourself, because the first one might not be the consensus.
the one thing, and this is where pre-ordering does suck, right? And the fact that if I pre-order and we all get it at the same time and say Adam gets his first and he does his review, like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, cancel my pre-order and like wait and hope it doesn't sell out? I'm like, well, no, I'm still gonna get it.
That's another thing too.
You know, I'm still gonna, and maybe I will be disappointed. Maybe I'll be like, damn, I shouldn't have pre-ordered this. That I have gotten bit before. Doctor Strange, the Astral Form, it's a shitty figure. I'm like, I shouldn't have pre-ordered this. That Ollie's not for $10. You know, but then you have other times where like Big Ben, like that's probably my least favorite G.I. Joe classified figure, other than Low Light. Right? it's all right, but like, but like the joints are really stiff. Like I have to give him a hot water bath. Like it's just one of those things where like I wish, but then you know, like
better than being too loose, though. You know, right?
But like for example, Cable, like everything, it flows perfectly.
Yeah,
the plastic on this was great. You know, it's a great figure, but it is one of those things where sometimes you get so like, ooh, I need that, and then you get it, and you're like, fuck, maybe I should have waited.
It's a game we all play. All right, let's get to the next review, and we got a couple left. This one was you did a while back, and it's another retro. Maybe you want to just take this one. Let's go quickly through this one if you can, maybe a couple minutes.
Yeah. Look, Beachhead, obviously in his vintage look, they nailed it. The only thing they didn't was his weapon. They made it green, but it's close enough. You get enough extra kit to warrant purchasing it. You know, you get a couple of grenades that fit onto the bandolier. I don't have them, but I really dug it. You know, he's iconic and he looks good, you know, with all the other retro Joes. So yeah, really nice. That's it. He's just really nice. You know what I mean? There's
you know what it reminds me of, Adam, is that it's like Duke. It's like, you know, while we had a completely different Duke, this is, I wouldn't say it was a completely different Beachhead, but it's like they just perfected it, right? They perfected Duke. I think a lot of people agree. It seems like they perfected Beachhead, and that's all you can ask for. Maybe we're not like, maybe we're not like going through the roof because we already had a Beachhead. We've already had a couple Dukes. I think if this was our first Beachhead, if this was our first Duke, it'd be just rocker, right?
Yeah. And that's it. It's like, it is retro. You know what I mean? Like that is it in a nutshell. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure. All right. We'll move on to the next one. And this is the one I hate you for. I truly hate you. This is the last time you're on a toy kind of mood. But yeah, no, I'm kidding.
It was excellent.
Yeah, look, I had low expectations for this figure when they first revealed it. I was just like, yeah, she looks okay. But getting her in hand, she exceeded those expectations. Look, she's bare essentials, like when it comes to accessories and whatnot. But the good thing about her is you get kind of like her vintage look. You get the unmasked look with the updated sort of hairstyle and whatnot.
Multiple looks.
You get the blindfold as well to tie into that part of her narrative. But she's just a nice figure. She balances well. You can get her into like proper martial arts poses and all that sort of jazz. My only sort of nitpick is I'm not a massive fan of this full sleeve tattoo. It's just, and that's coming from a person who's heavily tattooed. Just doesn't do much for me. I would have much preferred if they shortened her like wrist like to gloves and gave her the proper hexagram, Arashikage hexagram. That would have been a nice touch, because you've seen it with Kamakura and you've seen it with the upcoming V2 Storm Shadow. So, Adam, it's a small miss.
Real quick. Wait till you read Scarlet #1 and then rethink that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. All right.
I just want to also add is you almost don't want to have it too retro, because then you get in a quick kick situation where like the character isn't all that different and it should have been on a card, but then it's smarter to classify it up first.
Yeah,
people will
exactly.
either not want it or they'll love it, and then come out the retro card second, and the
Yep.
purists can go and get the perfect retro
Yep.
80s figure. Yeah,
And they'll probably give her the quick kick backpack.
convenience store growing
The
up.
quick
was-
pick is a lottery term here in Australia.
Same here.
Yeah, the quick kick backpack, so she can have the two swords because she obviously only comes with the one. So yeah, that's her. She's lovely. You'll enjoy her once you get her.
Beautiful.
Sounds really
and
bad.
then one pretty much we're all waiting for. It's seems like a most anticipated for a lot of people. In my most anticipated list, if we had to count these figures, Jinx and Doc probably would have been near the top. And you got Doc in your hand. Go with the
There
call.
he is.
Love it.
Yeah, man. In my opinion, flawless. Like they did no wrong with this. The beauty of it is it stays true to like the original figure in a lot of ways, but it's classified up. You've got the vest, you've got all the pouches, you've got the flare gun as opposed to the flare launcher that he came with. You know, you can take his helmet off, you can take the glasses off. The head sculpt, I may as well show you guys. The head sculpt is really nice. The helmet is a little tricky to get off once you got the glasses on, so just bear with me. There we go. And there he is, you know, for a character that was killed off in the line. He holds, you know, a lot of nostalgic places in people's hearts because, you know, he was in the comic and whatnot. And yeah, they just nailed it. You get bang for your buck. And yeah, it's just a really, really nice figure and no flaws. Like I had no issues with it whatsoever. So there you go. That's Doc.
Beautiful.
Adam, how's that stretcher?
I'll show you, man. Bear with me 1 second. So it's obviously hinged and it folds out in a nice sort of fashion. It's not floppy or anything like that. You see what I mean?
Oh, it's nice.
You've got like the backpack peg here, and yeah, it'll look really good with all the accessories that Mark has made available over at Gridiron, like the blood bags and all that sort of jazz. It fits well, I think, on his back. Show you guys. You have to take the pouches off.
Yeah.
Do that, but you know, that's no biggie, whatever.
Once again, everybody, check out this review on Shark Eyes Toy View on YouTube. Amazing work.
See, it sits well. It's not sitting back from the vest as well, which is what you want.
Yeah.
We've seen those issues in the past with certain backpack accessories. So, yeah, man, he's a winner. You guys are going to love it.
Just giving everyone a preview of all the stuff that you put forward. You gave us a nice deep dive tonight. We're not saying goodbye this second, but I just wanted to, before we forget or whatever, I wanted to show everybody. And congratulations. Looks like you hit 1K and then you went right by it with another 130 plus right after that. Yeah. So big up.
Thank you, fellas. Yeah, that was a nice little milestone to hit.
You do a lot of gridiron reviews too, gridiron stuff. So
yeah, look, there's a few there. I'm not like Lawrence. I don't review every single gridiron thing that comes out. But you know, I buy what I like. I love gridiron stuff. I've spoken ad nauseum about that online, and it just complements these figures in such a fantastic fashion. We're blessed to have them available to us and what they do for us as a community of collectors.
Cool. Do we have any last minute thoughts with Adam before we I have a couple things I want to talk about with Joe Fest real quick and segue us home with some social medias. But anything you want to talk with Adam and the figures or any last minute comments?
What are you looking forward to, or what's on, like, what are your
great question,
figure wish list?
Oh, that's a good question, man. I'm not one of those guys who's like, where's Blowtorch? You know what I mean? Like, I'm patient. I like playing the waiting game. I like to be surprised, even though leaks really sort of negate that in this day and age. And you know, like I have faith in Lenny and Co. Like they're invested in doing the right thing by us.
I just hope that the line's around for years to come. Like, I just don't want it to burn out and phase out. I think that would be a damn shame.
And maybe that's why we didn't get 57 figures of G.I. Joe this year, because they're pacing it out. Marvel's like, hurry up, fire all your Wolverines, because we may not have much time left.
That's it, man. Like, they have to pace it out. Like, if you read between the lines and you listen to things and you observe things, we know that Hasbro was cutting back on this. We know that there's budget constraints and all that sort of jazz. You got to temper your expectations. You know what I mean? Like, I looked at this Yojo June and I saw the Dragonfly unboxing and I watched the Stinger unboxing and I'm like, yep, cool. I didn't walk away from it being like, I need more. I want more, because the problem is, and I've said this before, we live in an age where everything is just handed to us. And, some people are just like used to getting food delivered from the phone in their hand, or, everything is now. And that's the disease of more. And I think, you got to be patient. You got to just wait and see. So, but yeah, so back to your question, Dave. It's a tough one, man. I've got a lot of love for a lot of characters. Mercer will be cool when we eventually get him. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him, because that's a character we've seen in the Skybound comics where they've just made him like a man mountain, and it'll be cool to see if they go that route. You know what I mean? So, just show us what you got.
Well, actually, I should have asked. I said that Doc and Jinx would have been two of my most anticipated had I included the current figures that some people are reviewing. But where does this wave, where does it stand with the class of 24? Because like I said, we only got 13 figures, but you showed us like 5 or 6, and then we still have Torch, we still have the Eel. So, we're getting another 7 or 8 or whatever, 9 added to that. Where does it stand with what we have? Airborne, Techno Viper, Quick Kick, Big Boa, Metalhead, Retro Duke, Retro Scarlet. Where does this stand? Is it superior? Is it in the middle? Like, where's your gauge on this?
It's a pretty good wave, like in terms of like the depth of characters that are offered up. I don't hate any of these figures that I've reviewed. You know what I mean? Sure, some of them I like more than others, but I've never looked at them and gone, well, this is trash. Why do I waste my money on this? You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, a figure that has like something that's broken still can have its positives. You know what I mean? You've got to look at it objectively. But it's a quality wave. You know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see how that Storm Shadow Alpine wave is received, because
added to that. So I bet our best of the year list. I want to see one from you. I want to see a video top 10 at the end of the year, because you've done so many reviews. It'd be interesting to carry this conversation over, and maybe we could have you on the show back at the end of the year too, and probably break down our top 10 list. That'd be a lot of fun with these guys. I'm sure everyone's gonna have a top 10 list in some content. I know Genghis will do some videos and stuff too. So look, we got a couple of things left, and then we'll just bring it up. But our friend Zazel, do you know Zazel from Sergeant Slaughter's house? He made it to Joe
I've never
Fest.
met Zazel, but I definitely do know Zazel. Yep.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever make it to Joe Fest? Is this a dream? What are you thinking?
Man.
Do you get crowdfund time or what? Let's make it happen for next year.
Look, if I can make it one day, I will make it. It's I've got the green light from the missus, so that's half the battle out
half
of the way.
The battle right there. Half the battle.
She's like, that's something you can do on your own. I'm like, tick. So, look, unfortunately, I couldn't make it this year, and that's a shame. But I know you guys are just going to have an absolute blast, and I'm stoked for all of you. This community has only thrived like in line with the Lions revival. So, a lot of friendships have been made and a lot of bonds forged, and I'll be living my life like vicariously through all of you who are going. So just go there, have fun, kill it, and make some memories, basically.
Gotcha. Well, the good news is that Baldy, Tony, and Punk have never been to Joe Fest. They've never done a panel. I've never done a panel. So if we botch it, we botch it together. So it'll be, it's going to be a great time. And topics like reuse, leaks, those are the heavy hitting topics. This isn't going to be everything's amazing and stuff. We love this. We wouldn't do a panel if we didn't love G.I. Joe Classified almost more than anything. It's like family, work, G.I. Joe Classified, but G.I. Joe Classified's at the top. But no, it's like, do we love this? We're gonna have a lot of fun and good conversation, a Q&A at the end if we have time, and it seems like it's paced out pretty well. So we're going to show everyone's like distinct review technique. There's a lot of community topics in there. We'll run through Yojo June. We have a segment where it's Dragonfly versus the Rattler. It's going to be a fun panel. And shout out to Toy Connections. He's for those watching, I'll let you know he's the secret guest, because if you're not going to Joe Fest, you probably wouldn't know. So we're intending to record this, but not live. We're going to record it, but things happen. Bad Wi-Fi, battery ran out, whatever, poor lighting, things happen. We're prepping for it. I'm looking to record it and edit it later. That way, if something goes wrong, maybe you'll get some of it. You know what I mean? So no live stream, but I'll be on a live stream, and so will Punk. We're gonna be on what am I looking? Oh, I put the wrong thing here. Never mind. I put the wrong thing.
But that was a fun episode too. So.
It was a fun episode. Anyway, yeah. If you want a full whoa, I got an echo here. Echo, Bravo, Echo, Alpha, Delta, Beta. Okay, I don't know where the echo's coming from. All right. But Joe Fest preview. This was a fun preview. Since it's like Friday, you can watch this tomorrow and get all caught up on who's going to be there. Shout out to 3D Joe's and Delta 17 Ken, as we mentioned, and Ed Schumacher, who was on the show last week. Super fun. Man, I didn't put the thing in there. Anyway, there's going to be a panel. Mega J Retro, Bobby's homie. Mega J. This would have been the panel that you would have been on.
Yeah, I know.
Next year, buddy. But year. I'm there for you. I'm your stand-in. I'm your body double. We both get the grayish beards and the hair. I'll be there for you, buddy. But I hanging out. Just hanging out with Punk. There's a bunch of names. Now I don't have the thing in front of me, but Toy Connections will be there. Other people as well. So it'll be a fun panel. And then, all right. Who doesn't love free pizza? And you got beers with Bob Brecken. KJ, you love Skeletron. Did you see this heads up on IG? Do you want to talk about this?
There were, in fact, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Skeletron had some pretty fun stuff about Robo Skull. And loving all the stuff from Order of the Crimson Moon. So really quick, I have it up on Instagram if I can share it real quick. It's just going to take me a quick second. But yeah, this is a lot of fun here. So the stuff is tooled. They're working on it. The updates are looking fantastic. I cannot wait to get my hands on that Robo Skull. It looks like a lot of fun.
End of the summer. Looks like end of the summer.
Yeah. So it's going to be great. So shout out to everybody involved. Like I said, I love that the Palatoy aesthetic is coming back from the original Action Force. You can see it, and once again with Fresh Monkey Fiction, they're going to have 6-inch figures that's going to also fit into the Robo Skull. That's a different manufacturer, different line, but it's still that same Action Force aesthetic from the 80s overseas in the UK. So yeah, it's going to be great. So I'm really glad that it's making the comeback. It's been fun to see.
Yeah, definitely. Just want to mention you went through those updates, and what I was like, oh, do we go up through these updates? I was like, no, we would rather chat with Mark and Ben. I'll make sure that we can get you on the show, or maybe it's on the Genghis, or we'll work this out where we can get Skeletron on with a Toy Kind of Mood somehow. We can talk to them after Joe Fest.
That's great. They were one of our first guests on Terradrome way back, which now is migrating over to Black Genghis YouTube.
There you go.
That'd be great.
There you go. So we'll figure out something there, some kind of joint show, and we'll talk to them. I'll be at that panel because that'll be dinner time after our panel. So we got that real quick, guys. Super 7. Now I want to talk to Bobby about this and whoever else, because they're not bringing a whole lot, but they're going, maybe because it's a commitment. But they were talking about. All I saw in the comments was, thought you guys were doing O-rings. I know Spec, you've bought in some reaction as well. But it looks like that's all they got. They got 2 reaction figures for Joe Fest.
I think they're in trouble.
They are.
I mean, it's not a secret that they're in trouble. So we'll see what comes out of it. I mean, you know, reactions, I've bought every single one on super sale clearance or Ross. I've never paid.
Same.
I paid retail price for 2 of them, the April Fools, the I Am a Computer and the Who Wants a Body Massage, because that was totally worth it. But other than that, it's not worth it. It's not even just for the G.I. Joe. None of the ultimates are worth, like, any ultimate I've ever gotten from them, I have gotten on clearance for at least half off. And
okay. I love their ultimates.
Yeah,
right?
they're great.
I have all the turtles. I've got Splinter, Shredder. I've got Surfing Mike. I've got Samurai Leo.
Right,
and
but
I've
none
got-
of those are GI Joe. So I mean,
I've
you're
got the
kind of
bat.
proving our point. Oh, you get the bat from Comic-Con. Yeah,
I got the bat from Comic-Con.
that was a good one. That was a
It
good
was
one.
a good one.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, but I don't have any of the
Oh man, look at this comment. This is
Ow,
the comment of the night.
I hope not. I hope not, because
Hold on,
That's
solo me real quick.
brutal.
Solo me real quick.
I got you.
So
I got you.
the thing about reactions is that it's just a nice reminder of a brand you used to like. It could be Robotech, it could be Star Trek, it could be the Joes, it could be whatever. So sometimes, like, I have their rap hip hop reactions. I got a Slick Rick action figure thanks to Super 7. Bobby Digital, Notorious B.I.G. So it's not for everyone. I have a saying: don't yuck other people's yums. Some people like the retro thing; they just like the abstract nature of those types of figures, where it's only just 5 points and it's limited. We see that with McFarlane and Superpowers. We see that with the retro line from Star Wars, because like some of those first action figures were that limited, and there is a bit of a charm in it in seeing like how they break down the essential elements of a character design to that level. So whoa, let's look at Adam real quick. Adam, yo,
I'm right
that's
there
what
with
I'm
you,
talking about,
KJ.
baby.
Yeah, man. Like you nailed it, man. Like for this sort of thing,
Perfect.
like if I see, oh, that's a DMX action figure, I'm buying a DMX action
Look,
figure.
I need to buy that shit, dude.
And the Ghostface one, come on, man.
Oh,
That's like
look,
a
that's
classic
dope.
album cover right there too. Like
That's sick.
this is
Iron
the stuff
Man.
they do well. You know what I mean? And you got to give them their props. The price point, that's another story.
It is what it is. Yeah.
It is what it is. They're paying fees to these people for their likeness and all that sort of jazz. So
Yeah, I totally agree with all of that. I love a lot of what Super 7 does.
Their clothes.
Yep.
Like, well, even I like the reaction stuff. And if they weren't $20 a figure, I'd have the Beastie Boys Sabotage 3-pack. I'd have all the Muppets and the Sesame Streets and the weird obscure movies things and the TV like they do a lot of cool shit. But I think and that's why their price point is so high. The break-in set, like fucking I used to watch Electric Boogaloo all the time on Betamax.
Fucking time. Yeah, man. Yeah.
But
yeah, man, it's nice.
Because there isn't a lot of reuse within their line and it's a lot of new molds, I think that they stretch themselves a little too thin. It's almost like Funko Pop territory, right? You're not seeing as much of it on the shelves, but they're getting. I think they put themselves in a danger zone because of what they're doing and what they have to price it at least on a retail level.
Right. So the reaction, I agree, because I wanted the whole Parks and Recreation. I wanted the whole wave. I want because I love Parks and Rec. I wanted them all. I held them. I'm like, oh, this is really great. $20? No, thank you. I want the Outcast. I can't bring myself to pay $20 for, in essence, a novelty. Does that make sense? Like it's cool. It looks good on the wall, but he's 25 and does a lot more than just And now if there were 10, and I get licensing fees. I get that they have to pay these people to make them.
Yeah.
But if it was 10 all day, every day, fine. It's like y'all said, the superpowers. But I mean, I can't. No, it's just it's too much. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I got you. This comment's funny. just because I used to read the source as a kid before.
Yeah,
started
that's a source reference
from Benzino, who ruined it. So all right, look, one more shout out so we can shout all these guys and I can get some sleep before Joe Fest. John Earl, he's been a fan of A Toy Kind of Mood. He's checked it out. He's got some great art. Go check him out. So these are some of the updates we didn't talk about last week. So, and Four Horsemen officially, we knew they were coming. They're going to be at Joe Fest. I don't think they have an exclusive, and they talked about it being like a street team event. So I think Jeremy will be there. Some of the main people will be there, but they're not. It's not like a Four Horsemen, Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions kind of event where they're gonna have exclusives, and they'll have a good presence. But I think they're just going to be selling off what they got already. But I'm interested. I mean, I love what they do, so I'll take a look and see. But just some shout outs there, and then Geeks Have Game. Bobby, cool.
Yeah.
You thinking about an official launch yet? Have you thought about like a grand opening?
I'm hoping August, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. There's 3 things I'm waiting on. A, my wife is extremely busy and can't design a new logo for me just yet. 2, we're getting hurricane season here in Houston, and the last thing I want is to we're gonna do the show and then have no power for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Because look at the numbers of some of those videos you've had in the past. No, sure, it was a while ago, but you had a 10K interview, almost a 5K interview, almost 1,000 right there.
Shout out to all these great voice talents, man. Like, that's great.
Yeah, like Tress McNally was amazing. Rob Paulson. I didn't get Brain. I can't think of his name right now. I almost had him, but yeah, that's then James Marsters was an absolute great guy. I actually do miss doing interviews like that. I did these at Compalooza, and they don't do interviews at all anymore. They get very pissy and this kind of
But that's what I would love to see from GHG is like on-site interviews. Because for instance, I'm going to Joe Fest and Comic-Con. I don't have you're just your organization to do at a convention, that's like your wheelhouse. Like me, it's not that it doesn't interest me. Right. I'm nowhere to the level of you when it comes to producing something like that. And it would be a lot of work for me, and probably for you, it's like, I've done this a million times kind of thing. And like, I'm going to Joe Fest, I'm going to like shake hands and be like, do you want to be on A Toy Kind of Mood later? Like, same thing at Comic-Con is like, I'm going to say hi to people, get their card, and be like, let's hang out. That happened last year. It worked out well. But I'd love to see this kind of stuff on this channel, with pop culture and everything like that. So, bring a different vibe than what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm loving.
Have you met me?
Nope. All right. But I met the Black Genghis. KJ, you have a show tomorrow.
I have a show tomorrow. And that's how much I love these guys, because I'm doing this instead of that. But the Gridiron episode was a lot of fun. That was a couple of weeks ago. Mark was very gracious with his time. Shout out to the homie Quaid, lead designer for Gridiron Studios. He debuted the Apache M230 autocannons. You can get one for the Vamp, you can get one for the His Tank, or the upcoming Stinger, and it looks badass. I was very proud to debut that on the episode, and you can check it out. There's also tomorrow, I might as well tell y'all, it's going to be the history of classified series for Yojo June, Joe Kind of June. So I'm going to be breaking it down all the way from 2020, where we got a look at the deluxe Snake Eyes at Toy Fair New York 2020 to the present day. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Show up live at 5 Pacific Standard Time.
Love it. Love that. And one more to go before we go to Shark, and that's Spec. You haven't done a whole lot, but that Firefly image is that the Mezco?
That is the Mezco Firefly.
Nice.
I had as you guys know, on some of the earlier shows that I was on, like, I had a lot going on between my kids having some pretty big life events and damage to my condo because of a leak from a unit upstairs, and dealing with the subsequent repairs, and living at my mother. Things are starting to normalize and stabilize. And of course, as soon as all of that ended, I got COVID for the first time. So I was laid out for the past week. And as I was coming out of it, I really wanted to do another photo, and this was an idea I'd been toying with. And I have another idea that I'm toying with. I just need to find a couple minutes to like start setting it up and put it together and commit it to Chip.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, one more. We got one more shout out. Of course, we showed it already, but Shark Eyed Eyes. See how it says eyed eyes.
Look, I deliberately am going to leave the banner there, Travis, because it's kind of like an imperfection, and I'm not mad at it. So, you know, if you look historically at toy lines, there's like, you know, spelling mistakes or grammatical errors and stuff like that. So it's staying there. And like, you know, the artist who did that, oh my God, I've just drawn a blank. Oh, shout out to him. Oh my Lord.
Damn.
What is his name? He does all of Chris's stuff for the Full Force. And Brian Sauer, thank you very much.
Yeah, Brian
he-
Sauer.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Assembly required, right? AR.
Brian.
Yeah.
He did that for me, and as well as the intro to my videos. So, like,
Cool.
you know, it's a nice piece of work, and I like it. So it's gonna stay.
So yeah, go subscribe right now at Shark Eyes Toy View, at Shark Eyes Toy View, and yeah, go check out what Adam's up to, and we hope to collaborate more on the future. I think that's it, guys. I think we're all done. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Wanted it to be a little shorter, but it was a lot of fun. So thanks again for watching. I'm Travis Moody. We'll see you at Joe Fest. But for KJ, Spec, Bobby, and Shark Eyes Toy View, I'm Travis Moody. A toy kind of mood, 175. Marvel is way better than G.I. Joe. Kidding. It was a fun war. It was a fun battle. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. See you at Joe Fest.
Peace.
Where's the outro? Oh man,
Let's just hang here.